did.
Did I?
Did you?
Did you post it in the web?
Doesn't have to be.
I guess that's the answer, you did.
I told you I didn't see it.
Your job.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, John.
You better have been talking to John, because you know what, you're about to.
You know, these both say speaker on it, you know.
What?
These both say speaker. Speakerless, speakerless.
How the hell did that happen?
Mchenry Township. Oh, you got the wrong signage here.
Oh, they shouldn't have changed, they always keep them on. No,
You probably grabbed the wrong clipboard.
no, I didn't.
Well, then you just don't know what you're doing.
No. I'm stealing this really nice pen, I like it.
Oh,
Township of Illinois. We pay for these pens, these are nice pen. Yeah, I like this setup. I feel like I'm part of the group now.
here it is. I don't know how that, I'll bet you that happened the last time, Jim really knows.
Probably.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, man. Didn't mean to cause a problem for you. I don't see a speaker for public comment.
Dan, I'm gonna put this in your, bin right now. Did you get the right sheets?
What kind
It's close enough.
I'll have to print more.
Nobody asked you.
Gee,
Sorry.
Christmas.
It's not public comment, so just keep them to yourself.
The meeting isn't started yet, so I can comment all I want. Did you watch the game at all?
I don't like football.
No.
I like baseball and golf.
I have to pay to watch it this year.
I can watch golf all day long. I don't know how the hell I do it.
Different
I do the
sheets.
same thing they do. My ball doesn't go that way.
I tried for years. I gave up.
Golf. I love the game. I never really play that much, but I started playing when I was about 35,
Same here.
and I absolutely loved it. But when my stepson was in high school, we started, he goes, what are you doing Wednesday? I go, nothing. He says, you wanna go golfing? It was him and this Mark Cleary, this friend of his. So I said, yeah, cool. I said, get in the car. So we went up to Spring Grove, that pro shop,
Yeah,
and bought 2 sets of clubs.
I took lessons there.
Figuring out, he's a nice guy. That
Oh,
guy
yeah,
is-
I forget his name now, but he was.
I remember him years ago.
Good morning.
So that we would go every Wednesday and every Sunday. And I got to be actually fairly good. But without them, I don't want to go by
There
myself.
was a period I golfed every day. I mean, like 36 holes.
Yeah, I can't do 36.
You did it for months.
My knee is about wiped out at 18.
I bet you did that for 3-4 years.
You got pretty good.
I got to be pretty good, then I got sick and everything went away.
The whole thing with golf is doing it repetitively. The more you do it, the better you get. Hi, Bob.
There's a lot of truth to when you get in the zone. I mean, I remember times that the golf ball looked like it was just freaking big.
Yeah.
I knew exactly where I was going to hit that.
Mine seemed to shrink.
What's that?
My balls, that doesn't sound right, does it? It was like that big. Thank you.
Not every time, but there was times that golf ball like this huge.
Huh?
Hey, what do you do? Good.
Oh, I'm tired.
It's Monday, the week is just starting, you should be rested.
No. I had a horrible weekend.
Mine was a long day, just because of the game.
Is Mike needed, Jen?
Well, I think it's a standby, I don't know. Some days he's pretty good, other days, I saw him at church yesterday, he was down to one crutch yesterday, so. Sometimes he's got a cane, sometimes he's got both crutches, so you might see.
We'll have to see.
Well, that's maybe.
I'll ask him.
You only have one crutch.
But, don't we all have our days that.
It was
No,
really good.
I've been taking CBD
I had my
for the
sister
last
and
2
family
years.
over,
And
yesterday.
just recently, this knee
Yeah,
started
and they left
bothering me
her
a little bit
place.
again.
My sister calls me, she's like, yeah,
But
she's got
that
mine
stuff
too.
is
And I
freaking
was like, oh,
weird.
right, so I'm like laced all mine all over my house and everything.
My knee used to always
I felt bad, it was like the
worse when it was
first time I
damp
actually felt
all
something for it,
through.
and they felt
But,
warm. You know, like usually you're like,
I started
the guy, you
taking
feel fine.
CBD
And I was
off,
like,
and within a half hour, my knee hurt. It's just incredible. I
But
went
he
to
tried
a
to play
company
something,
that
she's kidding.
is legit.
No, it's not that
I'm telling you, $50. If you
How much
get
yours?
the
Good weekend?
right one,
It's okay.
I talked to my broker, he won't do it
The
because
what?
Overall,
it's not legal in all 50
yes, there's a
states.
little long because it's just a game.
Yeah,
The business.
All right.
just longer than normal.
You like the good chair, Mike?
Yeah, it's fun, good city. Good city, good.
Damn, how you doing, picture?
Am I
Hey,
okay?
morning.
Morning,
Did you hear though that the, Groundhog Day commercial was number 1 national?
She's got the whole
Yeah. I'm like, oh, don't say pictures.
I know it's not.
Oh, yes, okay, there it is, yes. Yeah, I thought there was a lot of good ones, actually.
Usually I thought it was more better.
Hi, Stan.
Dan?
What's that? I am.
My shoe.
Thank you.
March down.
Good morning.
You just can't wrap my head around it. The one that was 16 games.
And that's just a one-year contract? So did you have Kansas City or the Chiefs Kansas City or the 49ers?
Did I?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I couldn't watch it football. I gave up on it.
I don't like
There's more important things to me than football.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
watch it.
tired of all the antics and,
Good, how are you? Yeah,
every time somebody knocks somebody down, they come and make a big, just do your job. Don't do that anymore.
I heard halftime was kinda X-rated.
yeah, wasn't it? Wow. Oh, isn't that?
I didn't see it,
That's
but I
another
heard.
reason to not watch it. Yeah, it was kinda over the edge. It was way.
I didn't watch one second of it.
I enjoyed it myself.
I did too, but I did too. Wow.
About one more minute, Tom.
Looks like your neck is feeling better.
It is. My back's still bothering me, but it's getting better. You don't ever wanna do that again. Who's taking the Christmas lights off? And there isn't any out.
You didn't have to tell us that. We do that. Nobody wants it. Even if you don't get hurt, nobody wants to fall off a wall.
Certain times it's better to write a check.
You don't know. Hey, you don't want to pay for yourself. Come on. Sometimes it's best to make off.
You get the fancy chair, huh? All right,
I'm too short with the other chairs for my left.
call this budget meeting to order with pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Okay, gentlemen.
I got the wrong copy. If you can just flip through the revenue here, I'll be right back.
I wasn't able to open that budget email.
Is that an Excel?
Yeah, that's why. Okay, I need to send it in PDF next time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I sent it in the original format.
That computer doesn't have the.
No, and I should have caught that because Bob called me on Thursday with the same thing. But I didn't realize until you just said that. He couldn't open the Excel either. It's gotta be PDF, I guess, for you guys.
Yeah. I can just get the first page, that was just nothing else to come up.
Right.
Okay, you can see the revenues there that are projected. And we really went through this budget as best as we could to eliminate everything we thought we could. And last year, I don't know if you remember, we had a 10% decrease in the budget. This year, I'm almost at 18% from the year before.
What was it last year you said?
Last year we did 10%.
10, right. This is 18?
This is almost 18.
And what is it primarily cut from?
In each department, there's gonna be one full-time personnel, a reduction of force.
Is that a full-time person?
Yes. One full-time person in each department.
Does that include the assessor's office?
Also includes the assessor's office, yes.
Well, as I understand it, you really aren't in charge of that.
I'm not, but I asked her, and she was willing to accommodate.
And it's a full-time person too.
That's a full-time person also, yes.
So the number of staff that will be reduced is what?
4.
Are those anticipated to be the last hired?
Yes, we're doing it by seniority, yes, correct. All right. Any questions on the revenue?
I do.
Okay.
From our discussion at the levy meeting, am I correct or do I hear correctly that if it's not in the budget, this township cannot spend it? Is that what I heard there? You know, I know we're still dealing with this budget before we levy for it. There's certain things that I want to make sure that does not get back into the system, so how do we protect that?
So the question is if it's not in the budget, you can't spend the money. That is a true statement.
Because that's what I remember you saying, and I'm
That
sure I'm
is-
correct about that.
And I stand on that. So, the budget appropriation is the ability to set those monies aside, whether you decide to spend it or not spend it, but you have to have it in the budget in order for it to be spent.
Thank you.
Can I have the supervisor's rationale for the 18% decrease?
Yeah, it's very simple. We don't have the dollars to continue with where we were, and so we had to look across.
First page, why do we still have money in for the Senior Express?
Okay, that's only in there. We can take that totally out if you'd like. I just put it in there and offer it to you. So
I want it
It's
out.
a cutback.
it's a cutback from the other one, but
I
okay.
want it out.
You want it out? Okay.
Well, I think the decision was
It's,
made.
well, we'll have to. Is
Pardon me?
everybody in agreement with that? I guess. Let's
Yeah.
take a. You're-
What page are we talking about?
On the
He's talking
first
about-
page.
Well, the Senior Express on the first page he's talking about.
It's on the
I put it in there only to give you that option,
141.
but if you want it out, we'll take it out.
Well, I don't see any reason to put it in there. There was a vote to get rid of the bus
Okay, well,
service.
that's not what I figured you would say, but I just wanted to, offer it to you.
So it's gone. We would take that
And
out.
it's-
Well,
it's a-
Well, it's got,
That's a reduction of how much?
That's reduction of,
there's one full-time, there was 4 full-time, 5 full-time. We went down to 1 full-time, 3 part-time.
yeah. What is that,
Well, then it should be down to 0 full-time, not 3.
no, she said it's
No.
down to 1 full-time,
1 full-time,
2
3
part-time,
part-time.
3 part-time.
Why is there any if there's no longer a senior express?
Well, that's a very
It
good
was a
question.
proposal.
It was
we
just a
wanted to put
proposal, I
in.
wanted you to see it, and if you didn't want it, I assumed you wanted it out, so we can take that out if you'd like. And so I see nods all around the table there, except for myself and Stan probably, so. So that gives us a further reduction.
Don't you have to vote on that?
Yeah, I think we do have to vote on that. Let's take a vote on that, to eliminate the Senior Express.
Is there a motion first?
Yeah, we need a motion, Bob, did you wanna make a motion?
I'll make that motion that we remove the Senior Express for the amount of $119,141.
Okay, motion by Bob,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Rakestraw. Let's have a roll call vote. Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Rakestraw?
Yes.
Mr. Vera?
Yes?
Mr. Adams, no. Mr. Wojciechowski?
No.
Okay. Passes, so it's out of there.
Who seconded that?
Mike seconded that. All right, so then we're going down to where it shows you the second page are the actual revenues, that's where we got the top page.
Oh, before we go there,
Uh-huh.
parks and facilities,
Uh-huh.
have you arranged a meeting or?
We're in the process of arranging a meeting. Terry's gonna lead that committee with you, okay? It's just that this time of year, it's hard to get them to come in, you know what I mean, because nothing's going on. So there will be one though.
And there will be somebody from the baseball fields and
Right.
representing all the different
Sports,
groups that.
correct. Mhm. And in that, I wanted to tell you too, we'll have Terry talk about all that, but we've raised fees. So this year, the baseball fields will make a little bit of money, and it's gonna be raised every year coming up, you know what I'm saying? So they'll pay for themselves right now.
And what percentage right now do they pay? Do you have any idea?
We'll have to ask Terry what he's got the exact numbers, I don't.
And he'll be here today? Or
He can be if we need him.
because this is an enormous amount of money.
Well, we can talk about that. Okay.
Well, what is the fund balance?
As of right now.
Well, whenever, I realize it changes probably every day, right?
Right, it
Yeah.
does.
I think we had it on there, didn't we, Deb? On this sheet somewhere?
No, that would not be on that sheet.
Oh, okay.
You're transferring over $500,000 out of it, right?
Correct.
So how much is it? Just approximately.
We're probably at about $1,056,000 off the top of my head.
So approximately $1 million, you're saying?
Yeah, just over $1 million is the fund balance. Now, we still have 2 more months of spending. And if we are to stay within budget, I'll tell you in 1 second how much we still have left to spend. Because we actually have 3 months, but 2 months now as of today. There's about $475,000 still left to be spent for this year's budget. So it'll leave you about $600,000 roughly.
So Debbie, are you saying that in 2 months we spend about 400,000?
475 is what's, yes, budgeted.
All the bills don't come time, you know, some come in only one time a year, so you can't just divide it out equally.
Right, because you'll see where it shows what's been actually spent. Some line items are real low and whatnot, but they'll be spent this spring. It just depends what they are.
So the $1 million fund balance is after this $521,000 is transferred.
After what?
After the transfer of the 521.
I don't know what transfer you're talking about.
Right here on the first page,
Oh, on
page
that,
2.
sorry, I was on the revenue page.
Well, I'm on the budget summary.
Budget,
Okay,
so,
on the budget summary, that 521 is a transfer from the fund balance to cover the budget.
Right, but this $1 million, slightly over $1 million remaining is after that $521,000 is transferred. In other words, there's 1.5 million something in the
Well,
fund.
you still have the levy to come in.
Yeah, you're right, Steve, you got it right, I believe.
Okay.
All right,
Can we go over these numbers on the budget summary page?
sure.
Or are you planning on, I don't wanna interrupt your
No,
presentation, but, like, for example, the outlay capital outlay for the town. Can we talk about that now, or do you wanna wait?
Oh, you're back, you're still on this page.
That's for the
Can I
phone.
go back to that just for a
Yeah.
second? What is, I just wanna make sure I'm clear with too. What is, not even looking at this, what is our estimated year-end balance for 2020?
The estimated year-end balance for 2020 is $1,036,000.
Okay. $1,036,000.
Correct.
Okay, for estimated year-end balance for 2020.
Correct.
I'm just talking.
Right.
So if that's the case, and then we're gonna use 521,000 of that to fund the 2020-2021 balance?
Correct.
That's gonna leave us about $470,000 in total fund
Correct.
balance.
That's right.
Okay.
No, I'm glad you
That's where I
brought that
got
up,
the
because
475.
Yeah. It's not gonna
It
be much.
seemed like it was,
Which, in
Is
other
what we
words,
had set,
you
right?
couldn't do this again the
No.
second year without additional funding.
Correct.
Okay, capital perks outlay, you said, or no, capital outlay account?
yeah,
Steve, that's for, and when that's been reduced from the previous budget, I think it was at 50,000 the last time. We reduced it, and, to be honest with you,
For the phone.
that was for our phone system that we were gonna have to replace. We didn't get it done this year, because our phones are gonna be obsolete at some point in time here.
well,
Some soon, the problem is the phones that we have, they're no longer manufacturing, so our system won't work unless we change it.
Now, are
As
these,
long as it's working, we're not changing.
We're not gonna change as long as it's working. We just put it in there in case it happens.
We
that-
did the research on it.
Yeah,
are these landlines or are they cell phones?
these are landlines. They're VoIP, I believe, phones, voice over internet protocol. And the problem is, you can talk to these different phone providers, but if you get 8 years out of them, you're lucky probably, because they keep changing things, and then the old ones won't work, you know what I mean? Obviously, they're doing that on purpose.
They just don't support them anymore.
They won't support them anymore, then you're,
Are we gonna go page by page here, or are we just gonna, are we gonna go over down each line item?
Yeah,
that's what if you want to, it's up to,
I'm
Steve
kinda
just
at
wants
least
to go over the
Yeah.
budget summary.
he's still going over the film.
Which leave us, I would, that one leave this, so that he can get this.
there are
He's
no,
on the summary
I'm sorry.
page.
the parks and facilities, that really represents salaries, right, mostly?
No,
That's the whole thing.
no, we can look at that when we get to the sheet.
Okay, then
It's not
what,
just,
then what you wanna do is do it by particular department or division.
Right,
Okay,
is that fine with you?
yeah.
Okay. So then, let's go to the first page then, or not the first page, we don't really need to look at that.
The pages are numbered, but they're under the staple.
Yeah.
I got my number.
My number
I got
is-
right hand side.
So go to page
Yeah, but
three.
these I stapled the opposite way.
My numbers are,
Good, you could see your numbers.
mine's perfect.
You could see your numbers.
Okay, I would just go to administration, unless you want to look at,
So that would be page
Well-
3.
that would be page 4 right there.
Okay, so the first question I've got is, I still don't like we're funding the highway commissioner's salary, and are we paying for those benefits too?
Benefits
Yes,
all
and
come out of town.
that's according to the township code. If I could pay for them, I wouldn't, but it says that the highway department can pay up to 50% of his salary. Can't, no, I mean, not
And
can,
they do.
that's all they can pay.
But it doesn't say shall.
I don't know what it says, but,
If it says can, I wanna change it. If it says
Well,
shall, we can't.
you know what, we're gonna have to, Mr. Milton,
The town is
I'll
out.
I'll take a look. I mean, I'll take a look at that.
I think it says,
I think it says shall, 'cause I think I have it.
Shall, I think it says, not can, shall.
When was this initiated? From the beginning? It's always been that way?
It's always been that way before my time, and as far as I know,
I
always.
remember we talked about it
No.
last year too,
No.
but I don't remember
Debbie
if
said
we had
no, I
to
don't
come
know.
up with the word shall. It was so, and
I
then,
have it in my office.
what is,
Yeah.
what is the amount of, benefits that are coming out of the town fund for the road district?
All of it.
So what is that number? 'Cause, all of it. So
All of his benefits
All
come
of his,
out of,
everything is coming out of
Yes.
this budget. That
yes.
doesn't make sense to me.
Why isn't
The
it
town
half?
was always, because you're only able to split the salary, not the benefits.
Well, does it actually say the benefits must be paid by the town? See, we get to like,
I believe it does.
that doesn't make any sense because it's not what they're doing in other townships. So
Okay.
either
I
we're
don't know how
out
to check that out,
yeah.
because
Let's let
if
Mr.
we don't
Middleton-
have a shell. I'm
Let's
gonna
let
have
Mr.
to-
Middleton check that out,
Yeah,
and
mhm.
you'll do that.
Absolutely. I'll have it ready for next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
In 2 weeks?
It's next week, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, by the way, gentlemen, we had something, we did say the 17th, but we're closed that day, so we'll have to, I would just skip that week, I think. We should be able to get through
Well,
this.
when we, after the meeting, we'll set that,
I'll have it-
after we're done.
I'll have it for the 10th.
Yeah. When we get done, we just set the
Okay.
meeting.
All right. So, yeah, you got the highway commissioner, Jim's gonna clarify that. And I agree with you, it would make more sense if it all comes out of his department, but this is,
Well, it makes a whole lot of sense, and it also makes a whole lot of sense if somebody is looking at where the expenses are,
I agree with you.
to find out where it certainly clarifies it.
I agree with you 100%. All right. So then we have the elected, you see that salaries, then we went, support salaries, there's only, I don't know what's on your sheet, what does it say? Your sheet might say 4 full-time, it's really 3 full-time.
Says 3 full, 2 part.
Yeah, that's all it is, and we're cutting one out of it from previous years.
So the current one is 4 full-time, 2 part-time. And
Right, we're cutting a full-time out.
Craig, as far as personnel, you're going to be laying people off.
That's correct.
Okay. I guess I have a question about this, and that is, if you're taking the last person hired and making them, relieving them of the job, but they're an excellent employee.
Well, we've looked at that also, and,
I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
I would probably caution the supervisor not to comment.
Yeah,
as
I
far
can't
as
comment on
to,
that.
Who's gonna get laid off and not get laid off at this point, I mean.
Okay, but I guess, let's just talk in general.
I understand what you're saying.
Wouldn't you hate to lose a really, really good employee because they're the last one hired?
I would, but I could talk to you later.
Okay, all right.
Well, but the supervisor
Also, first-
always has the ability to lay off anybody at any time, correct?
They're all at-will employees,
Yes, that's true.
So it's not really the board.
No, it would
No,
be, it's up to
to
me.
me, when it comes to personnel, I think we really have to rely on the supervisor, he's the one that knows we don't
Right.
know. From my end of it, I go on recommendation from the supervisor. when it
Put it
comes
this
to
way,
personnel.
I'm doing it so the needs can be met that we have to get done,
So,
okay?
that's what we really have to kind of pretty much rely on.
Could you explain the top line for salaries for the elected personnel?
That would be,
Why is it decreasing?
I knew you were gonna ask that question. The reason it's decreasing is, we scheduled less, you know how, last year we had more meetings scheduled in there, extra meetings possibly, and we scheduled less, so that brought it down.
You mean budget meeting?
Not all meetings. Maybe a special meeting, et cetera. So it went down. That, all that's in there is, myself, Mary, and the clerk and you trustees. Debbie, am I correct? We're asking about salaries, why they went down under elected officials, and that's because we scheduled less meetings.
Yeah, we had, increased it last year, and we took it down this year.
So we're not gonna have 13 budget meetings?
I would hope that we can get through this quicker than we did last year.
That's my hope too.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
as
So
far as
that,
I'm concerned, it should have been done the first year.
okay, so everything else in there is pretty much, social security and health insurance. Oh, I was gonna point to the health insurance line, and Bob, you sat in on that committee last year? Last year, we saved 10% on our health insurance, okay? It actually went down for us. This year, talking to the agent, we don't know that this is gonna be the exact number, but he's estimating a 15% increase this year. And he will look across all lines to get the best price, and Bob, you can sit in on that again if you'd like.
I would, well, is he taking into account the 4 employees that are gonna be off?
Yeah.
It's not the total number, Steve, it's the percentage per person, is what I'm trying to say, that it's going up. And we won't have those numbers exactly, so that's what we figured in there, 15% more, it may not be that, it may be less than that. But we don't have those numbers, our insurance doesn't renew until June, I believe.
But there'll be 4 less personnel on.
Correct, there'll be 4
Yeah.
less personnel, but it's,
Right, it's still 15%.
Well, what you're saying then is that.
It's not by the number.
Percentage
The
is
percentage.
gonna go up, but because you have less, the amount of money going out is
Would be
not gonna
less.
be that much. It won't be 15%. Does that make sense?
What they're trying, yeah.
did that make sense? I didn't understand what.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct, I got it, yeah. Right, there won't be as much money going out as there was.
Yes.
Okay.
So then the 84,000 is based just on a straight increase, 15%, not with the reduction in force.
No, that is with the
It is
reduction,
with the
reduction in force.
What happens with unemployment compensation? Is that gonna be I mean, if you're getting rid of people, I mean, isn't that an
Yeah,
item that has to be,
That rate gets,
that will up our rate in the future at some point.
right.
But we've paid it all in now already, you know what I'm saying?
also that's more like an insurance thing, it's not like,
Correct.
Yeah, it's
Like,
unemployment
okay.
insurance, yeah. Okay, and then the HRA there is just, that's because we have such a high deductible. Our deductible per family is 12,300, I think.
Greg, I ask this every year, I can never get it in my head. What does HRA stand
That's
for?
what,
Health
health reimbursement account. and
It's
that-
what, it's what?
Health reimbursement.
Okay, health reimbursement account, okay.
And what that is because our deductible is so large, 12,600 per family, or over 4,000 a person, I believe. We set that high deductible to get a lower insurance premium, okay? So in order to help people out, we have a plan, this health reimbursement account, where for those, while they're shelling out that first $4,000.
I'm not questioning that part,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get in my head what it
Yeah.
stands for, when I read it,
Yeah, okay.
I can't figure it out, now I got
Yeah,
it down.
that's what
But
that.
That's what I'm saying,
that's what
I'm
it
not
is.
questioning it, I'm just
The acronym.
questioning my ability to keep it in my head.
Got you. Got you. All right, so administration's pretty clear. Now, this is where we'll go under contractual services.
Well,
I'm sorry?
it's pretty clear except for this big question mark about the highway commissioner.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right, that may change in our next meeting. Okay, you're right. All right, equipment and maintenance, $8,950, that's for our, we have, copier, you know, that have contracts that we get fixed very cheaply. And then, DDX is our scanning software to scan our documents, and MITC is our, payroll system.
Could those be broken down for the next budget meeting? How much for each one of those 3?
I suppose I could.
You want to attach detail?
Oh, Debbie could give it to you now.
Right. DDX is $3,700 a year. Stands, it all depends upon, our maintenance also includes the usage, so it's based on usage. It's
Right.
roughly about $150 a month. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. And then MITC is $367 a month. It's about $1136 every 3 months.
And it stands for,
That's the payroll system.
It's the payroll system, when they log in and out of it, tracks their time.
You maybe should, I mean, you may wanna make it, I mean, if those are the numbers, you may wanna make it close to 9,900 or 10,000.
Say that again?
If it's 3,700 and the 367.
That was just a one-time thing last year. We're waiting for the ongoing maintenance.
Yeah,
So
that
we just
3,700
left it
was.
at, it'll be less than 37,
It'll be less.
but we kept it at 37 just to,
but the reduction in force, is that also included in that?
That would have nothing
Yeah, it
to
would
do
have
with the
no
reduction for this is
bearing on
equipment,
that.
it's,
Well, the payroll it certainly would.
well, we don't pay for, we pay for the system, not for number of users.
Okay.
yeah, HR would still need to use that system regardless.
Okay, risk management then, if we can go there. That's our insurance estimated cost. But I want you to know, that's that Torma policy. And Bob, you know, we've looked at this, we can't find it any cheaper. We've looked and looked and looked. And that's really not the full cost, okay? That might be the bill. But we get 11,674,
We
Um,
average about 10,000.
about a $10,000 to $11,000 rebate every year that they give us it back. So what they do is they pool all their claims, see what they spend for the year, and then they give everybody a rebate based upon, you know, how much they spend.
Population.
Yeah, based upon population, yeah.
And the bus service is included in that?
Torma?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
But we're not having the bus service anymore.
Well, I don't know what the exact fare will be, Steve. We're just guesstimating. It's not that much less because we did those numbers before, a couple $1,000 less.
Well, there's still never been an allocation.
Okay, that's all I can tell you about that. Let's move on.
No.
What? What do you mean there's never been an allocation? We gave you numbers that Mr. Militello
No,
got, I
we
thought.
didn't get the allocations. I never received any.
Didn't you send that allocation?
Yeah, there was an allocation as far as what that cost would be, per the vehicle and for the fund. Now, if
No,
the
I'm
insurance.
talking about an allocation for all the lines of insurance.
No, we don't have
But because we might be paying 10 times more for other lines of insurance to make up for the low ball bus.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
that. No, we don't.
So it's ridiculous. This is a meaningless amount as far as I'm concerned. And we still need those Torma officials to explain it all, how they can do it.
Right, I'm trying to get one to
That's
come
for
out.
the next meeting.
That's for the next meeting, hopefully.
Are they afraid they're gonna be put under oath?
The month
No,
after that.
Steve, they only got so many reps. It takes a while to get them here.
Craig, that, it's not the 1 in 2 weeks, but a month and 2 weeks from now. Is that what you're saying? For the Torma representative?
I don't know that they're gonna make this meeting, but they'll make the next one for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I mean.
Yeah. All right. So let's move past that for now. I
Well,
can't.
can we get the allocations? I'm talking about for the
Absolutely.
umbrella,
Absolutely.
for the workers'
Yeah,
comp.
absolutely,
could
so,
get that.
yeah, absolutely, so what I'm gonna do is ask them, say, we're in the budgeting process, we wanna see a line-by-line allocation of each policy piece that we're paying for, so that we can see what that is.
No, we asked for that last year and never got it.
So we,
And I think I have a pretty good reason why we never got it.
no, there's no reason to.
So there has to be some reason we didn't get it. Okay. What, someone forgot to give it to us? It's sitting in someone's desk?
No. Mr. Militello was looking into that, and I don't know.
I will work on that.
He was working on that, and I think it got,
No, but he got stymied by Torment South, not giving, he did ask for
I'll
it.
follow up with Mr. Torma.
but let him follow up and see where we are at that. Okay, telephone's pretty straightforward. Cell phones, that's what cell phones are.
Are the cell phones primarily for the assessors people?
Not in this budget. This is for, I have two people that have cell phones, only two. And that's Debbie and our operations manager, because they're often, can be called at night or be called on. That's the only reason we have them.
And the assessors, or not?
Assessors in a different budget. It's in the assessor's
It's
budget.
another
not-
page.
It's not in this budget.
All right, so this represents,
Everything's separated out.
okay, I'm just trying to figure.
Yeah.
So this represents two people only.
Two people only, correct, for the year. Travel and mileage. Just an estimate for the year. The new IRS rate is, I don't,
50, the mileage rate?
yeah, 50,
I think it's 57.
yeah,
It went down.
it went down a little bit. Postage, we raised a little bit because we were assuming that,
There's
or we
another
know,
increase coming.
there's gonna be an increase coming, February usually it comes from the post office for what it costs to mail a letter. Printing and publishing.
And we've gone completely to the metering, right, which just saves.
Pardon me?
Yes, we've gone completely to a postage rate. Yes.
Yeah, it all goes
If you
through
remember
the
last year,
postage
Mary
rate.
bought stamps, I don't know why she did that.
Right, it all goes through the
It
meter.
all goes through the meter now.
And it's all separated out by department.
All right. Printing and publishing, all that's in there, gentlemen, is notices we have to publish in the Herald and checks that we purchase, the payroll checks, those types of things. That's it. Website expense, it costs us about $1,000 a year to have that website, and that's, there's a fee domain, in other words, to keep your name, you gotta pay so much a year, and then the rest of that is the internet to make it work. Township newsletter, I've totally taken that out because I believe it was your will last year not to have one.
Correct from Brian and then they
Well, I'm not so sure, I'm not, for myself, I didn't nullify it, I just wanted to be included in, in having some input into the newsletter.
Right, well, we couldn't find enough advertisers to make it work, so we didn't have one this year. And,
So, but that's a command decision of you.
yes, it is, if you would like to have one, but they're
No,
expensive.
I just don't want to see somebody write a letter together.
Nope, that was-
The board decided that
Oh,
we must.
Well,
that
wait
was
a minute.
decided at the
Wait a
last
minute. You-
budget.
Did decide the last budget.
So more big decision to get rid of the newsletter.
At the last budget meeting. the
I
board
thought it was
decided.
just to make it smaller.
Well, that,
That's
They were
my
gonna try to.
understanding.
we were gonna try to, but it didn't happen, so.
Right,
Right, yeah.
yeah, right. I don't think it, I don't
From
think.
my end, I think it should be eliminated.
Well, why don't we take a roll call vote on this? All right, may need a motion.
Well, wait a minute.
Okay.
What happened to the money that was saved last year because one didn't come out, or this year?
It
It'll
never-
roll over.
It rolls over into our, what's left over.
That'll be part of the,
That's part of the numbers we gave you.
If you look back at
money's left over at the
2017,
end of the year.
18, we're spending $17,000 on a newsletter.
Right,
We
so-
were at one time, 17 to 20.
Yeah.
So how much has been rolled over?
The whole $9,000, we didn't spend it.
So that 9,000 will be part of the estimated 2020 ending balance of $1,036,000.
Correct.
Right, it's already estimated to be in there.
We won't have exact rollover numbers until the end of, or mid-April.
Yeah, after the year is over.
And so the last newsletter was sent out when?
The last newsletter, that's a good question.
Winter 2019, maybe?
I believe that might be right.
Fall, winter?
But when
There
was
was
it?
none done in this budget year, that's none done.
Yeah, it was none done this year, so. Probably fall, winter.
It was probably fall, winter of 2019 before the new budget year started.
Right.
Normally you had, 4 a year, is that what it was, every quarter?
No, it was down,
Three.
it was down to 3.
3.
Yeah, we had already
Yeah, 'cause-
reduced
'cause-
it to 3.
Because I thought we had talked about reducing it to maybe 2 or something, and then,
So they went out sometime in the fall of 2018. Is what I'm,
Correct.
I know that somebody who lives in Richmond Township showed me he was getting it.
Well, the reason that is it's sent bulk mail and it's sent by,
Okay.
By,
Yeah.
it's done by,
we don't address them, you know.
Okay, so the last newsletter was sent out sometime in the fall.
2019.
2019 fall. Our budget didn't start till April 2019,
Right.
the next budget.
So it'd have been the fall, winter of 2019,
One didn't come out 4 months ago.
2018.
2018, you're
You're
right.
right.
You're right. We're wrong.
Okay, so,
Wow.
You're absolutely right.
okay, so we've existed without one. I'm just trying to get a handle on how
No,
long.
you have the right year, we had the wrong
We
year.
had the wrong year. We get confused because all these years roll
Okay.
together.
And you're not ordinary.
They're not
fiscal
ordinary
years.
years, yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
you wanna are we doing a
Are
roll
we
call
gonna
about
do
the?
another vote on this, or are we gonna do?
Sure, let's do a vote. I need a motion, Steve, if you want to make a motion. Somebody.
I'll make a motion that we no longer put out the, well, first of all, there's no money amount here, so what is the motion?
Well, your motion, not to continue it.
My motion is that we're not gonna continue or not have, my motion is that we will not have a township newsletter,
Okay.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mike.
A printed one,
printed.
a printed
Okay,
newsletter.
printed, that's what, yeah, printed one.
So that doesn't
That's one.
stop one from
Be
being
specific.
actually put on the internet, right?
I guess it would, no.
I mean, we just add it to the website.
But you're still
No,
looking
no,
at,
you can't add
if
it.
you go into a newsletter, you're still looking at some additional costs and people working there.
I gotta have people put it together, or I got,
And remember, one of my complaints too is a lot of those newsletters were used to kind of on a political basis for different comments, okay? So I think we should just, my motion is just eliminate it, okay?
because I would have to go outside to have it,
Yeah.
because the person that used to
My
do it.
motion is to get rid of the C.
But the newsletter put salient, supposedly that was its purpose, to put salient information on to the people who live in the town.
absolutely, like, when there's
Okay.
recycling.
So why can't these new things that come up, whatever they are, be put on the website? Is my
Oh,
question.
we could put like, this activity is coming up, and we do that now.
It's already on there.
It's
already on there.
Yeah, we already
Okay.
do
It's already
that.
there.
All right, so the website is
twice.
actually taken over the
Correct.
newsletter. That's all I wanted to know.
Oh, okay, yeah, we put notices on, this is coming up, or that's coming up.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a first and a second by Bob and Mr. Rickstra. Roll call vote, Bob?
Yes?
We're
To
voting.
eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mike?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes this time around. We don't have the money to do it. Steve?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Okay. All right. County services, that is, that's for, we have an outside CPA that has to come in, do certain things for us. And other county services from her office that might be needed. As you can see, we spent $8,900 so far. And she does have to come in again
For the year end.
for the year-end balances and stuff. So that's our estimate. Legal services,
Increase, we noticed.
I increased it, considering there might be, I don't know.
I guess my only comment is that if there's less meetings, less things to do, you could probably leave it the same.
Right.
Go back
That's gonna be my suggestion.
I'm fine with that. Okay, we'll go back to 40,000 there now. Is that okay with you, Steve?
Well, you know, I'm wondering if we really need an attorney here for the budget meetings, for one thing.
We do, because we just asked him a question today about,
We can forward them the questions.
But then
We
that
can
makes
do that
another
too.
meeting.
Well, there's gonna be another meeting anyway, because we have to get to the bottom of it, okay? What the actual status of the highway commissioner's salary is, and how the township has to pay the benefits, instead of coming out of the,
the actual meeting, Steve, is not what's costing us so much. It was all those lawsuits that we had, over accumulation supposedly, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, a lot of it came from the bus people taking to Attorney General.
That too. So
I
they
don't
were,
know.
it's not,
We
it's
never
not,
saw a breakdown of that, but certainly that was.
and the lawsuit that you were a plaintiff on against the township. Okay, right?
correct, but it doesn't, so that's a lot of it, okay? His meeting attendance would not be all that bad. And I feel comfortable having him here so we get things correct.
So now we're reducing it to 40?
Correct. Dues and subscriptions are $2,000.
Well,
Okay.
how come the actual is such a differential? All these things come due in March?
Usually, yeah,
Yeah.
or January, they might be paying out already. Some are on a calendar year, some are not.
Besides the Torma subscription, what other subscription?
Torma wouldn't be in that
I'm
one.
sorry, GOI subscription.
Oh, that would be in there.
Yeah, that one.
So what are the other sums?
The other one is we have a membership at Sam's Club to reduce prices to get, paper towels, things like that we need, paper goods for the office, cleaning supplies. We also have a membership with Staples, so we can get our office supplies. It's cheaper, I think it's $30 a year or something like that. And then there's three others. There's the Johnsburg Area Business Association, the Mchenry Chamber, and the Mchenry Council on Governments.
Well, we definitely don't have to belong to the Mchenry Council on Governments, which is a lobbying group by governmental bodies to lobby other governments.
What is the cost of that?
It's not much. And they just don't, they lobby for things from McHenry County, which helps us too. They do a lot with roads, they do a lot with transportation, they do a lot that brings money back and helps the township too.
All right, why don't we do this for the next meeting? It'll be broken down to what they actually are.
Or we can
What we're paying dues for and how much it is.
we can tell you right now.
What do you want? Sam's is $100. TOI is $547, that's based on population. McHenry Chamber is 90.
Oh,
Johnsburg is 40. And McHenry Chamber is actually 50, sorry.
and then you have that Staples or something.
Looking. You probably haven't paid it yet, so
And
I have to look at prior year.
this should slightly be going down too. We may have to revise that number. Because Winter Lake no longer has a chamber. We used to
Right,
belong to that.
exactly.
They don't?
Because that was,
No.
that was 25 too.
Several months ago.
Well, question about,
Staples is $299 a year.
I don't know why governmental Oregon needs to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, we're part of the community, and we're not the only governmental organization that belongs to it. The city of McHenry does. The city of Woodstock belongs to the Woodstock lawn. It's
Yeah, they're oriented to the towns, correct? When you say the Chamber of Commerce, you're talking about the
Yeah.
McHenry City Chamber of Commerce.
well, it's not the McHenry. The McHenry Chamber ventures
It's
out.
McHenry area.
McHenry Area Chamber. It ventures out this way. It's not just for the city.
Not just for the city.
Well, we're still $800 short.
And our notaries come out of there also.
You know what, Steve? You're right. That needs to be lowered. I got the wrong number in there.
I think the notary should be a separate division entirely. It isn't really dues they're paying. They're paying for
It's a
a fee from the
subscription.
state. This isn't a subscription.
Okay.
I'm a notary.
What do you
okay?
want me to set up a new line item?
You're right.
I'm just asking.
And I don't think that the notary should be involved in political activities of any kind for anybody on township property.
Well, we notarize anything if somebody comes to the front desk.
It's not what I'm talking about, okay?
Okay.
All right, so just another line item, notaries, those are only 4 years, once every 4 years anyway.
Correct.
Yeah, they're not. yeah.
Mine's up for renewal this year.
So there may not be any, actually, for this year, is it? Oh, you, okay.
Mine's up, yeah. I
How
just
many
got
notaries do we have?
3.
That's it?
3 in
3
our
in our
office.
department, in our office.
And then there's the assessor, I don't know how many the assessor has.
I think they all are.
Because they
actually.
notarize stuff every day, every one of them
Right,
has.
because they do all the senior freezes and all that.
Senior
stuff.
freeze and all that stuff has to be notarized.
Circuit breaker, whatever it might be.
So they're notarizing documents that they themselves use?
No.
No, people have to bring in,
People are signing their freeze, so they're validating the signature from that person. It's not a form they create, it's a state form.
Okay, we'll get to that. I don't know why we have so many then. I understand that you need to have them, okay?
Well, we need to have 3 because somebody may not be here and then.
well, that's why
Well,
we
then they
have
can
it,
go to
so
the
when,
assessor's one, okay? Are they not notarizing
Well-
things that come from town?
Well, they could, I suppose, but.
they do, and we have had to use that at different times.
Sure.
I mean, there's only the 3 of us, so.
There's only 3 of us, it's not that expensive. All right.
One thing before you go on, we're involved with Sam's Club, and that's, you said $100 or something like that?
Yeah,
Okay. Which means that we have to drive to Crystal Lake then?
correct.
You have to have an employee drive there and come back.
They
Everybody-
usually use the township vehicles for not paying mileage, so. But
Well,
we're using gas though.
Yeah, you're using gas and their salary.
It's still cheaper.
And then just going
It has
one
been,
block down?
yes.
Because their prices.
Terry looks into that,
Their prices are cheaper than if we go to Walmart.
buy and bulk.
I'm
Right.
satisfied if they've done the math, and it's cheaper to do it that way.
It is, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. If we could go to Walmart, we would, but they're not cheap.
There is some stuff that he does get from Walmart from time to
Occasionally,
time.
yeah, we don't get
but he
everything at
knows-
Sam's Club.
He pays attention and figures it out.
He always looks for the cheapest price.
We used to have a company that did it. It was cheaper for us to do it.
Okay. Then there's the transfer to general assistance, that's the amount we need. The general assistance has been lowered, so we can get to that later. Through reduction.
But there's no number in mind.
Because it's not a budgeted dollar
Oh, I'm
amount.
sorry, you're right, it's not a budget, it's just, that's right. Training, $4,000.
Well, the transfer is from where to the general system?
It comes from the town fund,
So these are the excess funds.
correct? Not a budgeted dollar amount. You see that on the budget summary.
Well, according to that, then we've already hit the limit.
What?
$126,270 was actually spent so
That's
far.
what was requested last year's budget, yes, and it's already, that transfer's already been made.
So for example, I'm just looking, if you go to your general assistance page, under your 2019-2020, actually you had a transfer from the town fund of that amount, which added a total amount of $266,927 in your revenue for general assistance.
I'm sorry, what page is that?
It would be on your general assistance page. It would be page,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Right, it's page 10, I think.
Page 10 is also, page
10 or 11?
Yeah, page 10, yes, I'm looking at, no, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Page,
Mine is general assistance 13.
I'm with Bob, page 13.
Yes, that's good.
So, looking at page 13, I'm looking at the Excel sheet, same thing. You see that your 2020, 2021 proposed is $140,500, which doesn't have any additional monies being transferred to it. So, there's no money being transferred from the town fund to the general assistance fund. So that particular fund, that levy fund, will stand on its own. Whereas in the previous year, if you look, you had $126,270, which then matches up with the supervisor had in that line item for the transfer. So deleting it from your town fund shows that you've only got $140,500 for the proposed year for the general assistance. So you've seen a decrease there.
Okay. We're gonna go back to page 4 then. So then we're at training, and we have $4,000 in training. That's for, if you look at 2017-18, we actually spent $3,100. Trainings go up, certain trainings have to be done, such as updates. Recently there was a change in the federal law regarding status of employees, how you classify them. So we had to have a training on that. The state of Illinois has passed, which we're going to have to do too, sexual harassment training for everyone once a year. So that's in there too. Never mind, I'm not going to talk about that.
Well, does this include the TOI conventions?
Pardon me?
I believe some of it might.
I didn't.
Does it include TOI?
It does for you and the clerks and trustees. If they want, the trustees haven't utilized it, but you and the clerk, yes.
No, so is this just the admission and then like the mileage and food and all that comes out of a separate account?
It comes out of travel and mileage, which was, you already went over that.
We don't do much in
There's
administration.
usually about 3 or 4 different trainings a year, that's about it.
Yeah.
What do you mean we went over travel and mileage?
Right here.
It was
the same-
above.
It's above on the same
It-
page.
Yeah, you guys already went over that one.
Travel and mileage, 2,500. Right there.
I'm sorry, what page is that?
Page
Same
4.
page you were on, page 4.
About mid of the page, right on your cell phone, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's not,
And it varies from year to year depending on what we're required to do and what we're not.
yeah, you know, we're mandated to do certain trainings that we have to do, so.
So that's just transportation, I take it?
The
Travel and mileage?
travel and mileage, yes, is the transportation and the per diems.
Okay.
All right, then we're gonna move on with that training. Bank fees, we put $100 in there. As you can see, last year, we only spent 20. We work with Mchenry Savings Bank, for our checks and stuff. They've been extremely good to us. If we have to do a stop payment on a check, it would cost $35. They don't charge us for that. They don't charge us for lots of things. So, but occasionally,
We get charged.
we get charged occasionally, for an error that might be on our part, okay? So we just put it in there. Will we have to spend it? Don't know.
But couldn't that come out of miscellaneous expenses?
We keep
Something
it
that's small?
separate from miscellaneous.
Huh?
We keep
Keep
it separate
Yeah,
from
you're right, it
miscellaneous.
could, but we're
just-
trying to show where it's going, so.
Well, Yeah, I think the specificity is
I got it.
better
Okay.
than none.
Okay.
Yeah, we broke that out a couple of years ago, just so we could have an idea.
Okay. Thank you.
Data processing, that is expensive, but it's our XCal that maintains all our computers
Now, when was XCal hired originally? What,
before my time.
so they've been here for many years. Oh, before your time.
It's before I was supervisor, let's put it that way.
Not before it's time. You're right there.
Hey, that'd have been really long.
Sorry, I didn't mean to, I misquoted.
We take it out every, we usually get a 3,
So they've been around for a decade or so? Would that be,
probably.
okay.
And we recently compared another
Yes, we did.
service.
We do every time it comes up for
We
renewal.
do every time,
Now,
because,
the assessor stuff is not in this.
Yes, it is.
So this is partly the assessor?
Yes.
Well, then why isn't it,
It's separated out. XCal is, if you look on the assessor's page, they have a separate computer maintenance.
So this is expense for the town part, not the assessor, is that what you just said?
Correct. It's broken out by the road district, the town, and the assessor.
But this is the town expense right here.
Correct.
all right, so the town is actually paying more than the assessor's office for these same Excalibur services.
I have to look, because it's based on number of computers. And the servers are all split evenly.
Is the computer license and software through Excalibur too?
Yes,
yes, it is.
So they're,
everything is through them.
And there's constantly yearly licensing fees.
So the computer maintenance, she has other stuff in hers, but she's got 17. I could get the breakdown if you want it.
well, are they the middlemen, or are they licensing you software that they themselves have created, Excalibur?
It's not their own software.
No, it's not their software, they're licensing, but we've looked, Steve, we looked at other services, we just recently did, and they were way more expensive than Excalibur. And if we have
In
a
the last 2 contracts, this contract and the one before, there was no increase either, which
Yeah.
was amazing in itself.
Right, so, and if we have a
We have
problem,
to change.
they're here once a week or once every 2 weeks for sure to check all our systems, to make sure that they're running correctly. Problems happen, servers go down, we gotta get them repaired.
Well, what brought on that significant reduction between 2018-19 and this year, the current year,
What reduction?
for Excalibur services for the town?
There's no reduction.
Well, they're at 35,000, now there's, oh, we haven't got the last 2 months in,
Correct.
so then.
And it looks like it was budgeted higher than it actually needed to be.
In that particular year, if you look back, we only spent 28 and we budgeted 35, so that's why we've been lowering it. Also, during that time period, we knew we were gonna have to get some computers, and we often buy those.
Well, we had to do that upgrade before Microsoft
Yeah, Microsoft
changed
it.
December of 2019, was that?
Yeah,
So who's paying for the licenses? We are directly,
Correct.
yeah.
or they are? We're giving
No,
money to
we
them
are.
and they pay?
Yeah, everything, they make sure our renewals and everything happen on time and whatnot. Yes.
So
We
And
give
we
them the
pay
money
it.
for the renewals.
okay, so how much are they,
They're not up and up. It's
it's
the,
just a straightforward bill?
It's just a straightforward.
All right, so they get a
fee.
bill from Microsoft, say.
Right, it was like $250 for the license.
and they're
That's
not,
for all the
they're not
computers.
adding on to it, if that's what you're asking.
So then,
Yeah, no, there's no third-party charge. It's part of our agreement.
That's part of their services, to make sure we're always up and
but there's no real check from the township to Microsoft.
No, because we're paying Excalibur, and Excalibur's paying Microsoft.
Correct.
Okay.
It's part of their services.
But they're not charging anything for it? It's
No.
just
No,
a
they-
straightforward?
No?
No, they don't.
then why aren't we just paying directly?
Because it's the same cost, and they're keeping on top of it to make sure when it's due, and, it's the same cost, so
Doesn't cost me.
it doesn't cost
They have
anymore,
them
so
do it.
if I can have somebody else do it, it doesn't cost anymore.
How do we know it's the same cost? I'm just asking.
Because I've sent it out to multiple companies to see what I could get in pricing.
I'm not talking about what Excalibur
Oh,
charges.
we can look
for
up
a phone.
Microsoft, what the license is, and we know it's the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we look it up.
And actually, I wanna say that, last time we looked it up,
I think we even
I
get,
wanna say it was $2.99 and we only
We-
paid
we
$2.50,
get
so
a
I
good-
don't know why there was a discrepancy.
well, I do know why, because they're buying in bulk, so they're getting a discount.
That could be. That
Is-
could be.
is
We're
that-
getting it cheaper.
All right, is it the
We
only?
did get it cheaper though, I know that.
Okay, so is
I
it
didn't question
the
why.
only licensing we're paying for?
Oh, no, we have other licensing because we have our servers and whatnot on Beam and we have,
All right, so the Excalibur bill isn't, well, it's all data processing in a way.
it's all data
There's
processing.
certain charges that we couldn't escape no matter who we went to.
Correct.
But it looks like we're just giving Excalibur all the money, right, on here.
Correct.
Oh, I see. Maybe we should change the line item there to data processing, and I noticed the assessor has.
Computer maintenance,
Computer licenses and software.
that's not where she puts it. Excalibur's under computer maintenance.
Right.
The
which-
computer licensing and software,
Oh, that's hers.
that's hers for
That's right.
Saron.
That's right.
She doesn't use any other data processor.
She does.
Help.
Say that again?
Excalibur is the sole computer minder for the assessor's office, right?
That and Saron, yes.
Well, that's just a software program, correct?
Correct.
That Excalibur is,
Well, they integrate it into the website, yes,
okay. So
which
my-
is stored on our servers. We have 4 servers.
And we recently upgraded those servers, Steve, about 2-3 years ago.
Well, it was when we did the full upgrade so that we weren't running into the problem with Microsoft, but,
Right. Well, my point is, one of them just had an issue, and it was
right,
under,
it was replaced for free.
was replaced for free because we went through Excalibur and they give us a warranty, et cetera. So that would have been a significant expense if we had to pay
Yes.
for it.
So, so the computer maintenance for the assessor's office, I'm just trying to figure out if there's a double
There's not.
situation going on. We're paying,
You're not paying.
No,
then why is the town so high? Why is the
because
town
we
high?
probably have more computers, because ours includes the Parks Department.
They only have one.
They have 2. They have 2. I could give you the breakdown. You wanna know what the breakdown is? Hold
Well,
on. I have it, because I
the
use it for
supervisor's got a
billing.
computer, you've got a computer, Flo has one.
Flo has one, the front
There's
desk
more
has
than that.
one.
There's, okay, hold on, guys. I have the breakdown, so.
So when we get to the assessor's part, where she says computer maintenance, that's also Excalibur, but
Okay.
it just pertains to
Here's
her.
the breakdown. The assessor has 9.5 computers. The town has 16.5. He has
How many has the town got?
16.
16.
Road district has 9. And there's 5 servers that we split directly. The assessor pays $1,700 a month for her computer maintenance. We pay 22, and Road and Bridge pays 15.
So this is all done by a percentage of the number of computers?
Correct, I do a full breakdown.
How many computers are in reserve on each one of these?
Say that again?
In reserve? What do you mean by that? Like sit on a shelf?
No, I mean, they're all being used?
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
being
they're all
used. If
being
they're not being used,
We
then
take 'em out.
we take them off.
Well, what happens if the road district goes down? Do they use your server?
No, the road district also has Excel.
Right.
There's more than one server. And if they go down, Excalibur, that's what we pay for. They're here quickly to solve the problem.
Well, and they can
Remotely fix the problem sometimes.
they can do stuff remotely, but if there was a computer that went down or whatever, I'm sure,
So there's 5 servers between the assessors, the township, and the road district.
correct.
And how do you, I mean, how do you figure out who to charge what?
Well, the servers, because it takes all of our data, that's just split 3 ways, regardless, because it's not based on
All right,
computers.
so it's really 2/3 for the town, because the town is covering the assessor. And 1/3 for.
No, the assessor, I split that out.
Yeah,
I
but
just said I
The
did.
assessor doesn't have her own budget though.
Yes, she
Yes,
does.
she does.
Well, what I mean to say is, the assessor does not have her own. It's all under the town,
You mean all under the town fund?
the town contract by Excalibur.
The contract for the town is all under the
I
town for
understand,
all
Steve, wait,
departments.
Steve, I get what you're saying.
The assessor doesn't do her own contract with Excalibur, right? It all comes in through you.
We go over that contract with Jim and Mary.
Right, but it's the same contract for the whole 3 years.
Exactly, through the town.
But see, she does split it out of her budget.
Right, and that's why it's like, if it's the same company, then I'm wondering if there's like an overlap.
No, I split it all out.
Yeah, I know you do, but I'm worried about what Excalibur is billing for.
We know
They're
what
not, I know exactly what they're billing for, exactly how many workstations, how many servers, everything.
But each workstation is not used the same. I want to know,
What do you mean not
how
used?
does Excalibur figure out what the total charges are? Is it based on hours per computer use?
No,
Is it based on the bytes of
It's based on
data?
number of PCs.
Just that,
Well,
Well,
not just
and
that, there's
servers.
other things that come into play,
like,
like, what do you mean?
what?
You have the number of PCs, the type of service we're asking for, that all plays in. I can give you, you want that breakdown? I can give you that breakdown.
All right, besides the special program for 15,000 for the assessor, are there any other programs that are used by the assessor's office that are not used by the town, for example?
No, I don't believe.
I don't-
Well, no, I take that back, because they have a drawing program too. I would imagine each department has their own. Special program that they use.
And if she has special programs, it's in her line items.
So when you say a third, and a third,
That's just for the servers.
3 departments are using the server, so we divided them by a third.
Correct. So there's antivirus, there's the type of coverage that we get, which is Total Support Solutions. You have your server, we have our backup, we have our cloud.
with a backup, you mean backup data, not a backup computer?
Yeah, backup data.
Backup data. Our data is backed up 3 different ways. But I break it all down. And it's based on computers.
Just a gross number of computers,
Correct.
not megabytes stored or...
Well, yeah, that
Oh.
storage and all that comes into play, yeah.
So is that broken down between the road district and, I can't
Yes.
imagine the road district needing a lot. And I can imagine the assessor needing quite a bit. And the town, what does the town need all the data for?
Well, because the town has, we have the securities on there, we have all of our GA is on there, all of, the,
These are only a few
What?
megabytes per person.
say that again?
You're only.
No, it's a ton of data, Steve. It really is.
Right.
It's stored for years and years, we can't just use it and get rid of the data.
I can't get rid of that for 7 years. But anyways, it's broken down that way.
Well, do we have a program of every 7 years? All the old stuff is gone, or what? Or we just keep it indefinitely?
No, I get rid of it. We actually have the state of Illinois coming in this year.
State of Illinois has to come in and authorize us to get rid of it.
Right. Before we can dispose of any records. Do you want to see the pricing breakdown?
No, I just, the assessor does it one way, you do it another way. It should be a uniform.
It is
way.
uniform. I'm the one who sets it.
No, he's saying the way it's set up by line item, I guess.
Oh, you mean because they don't have it under data processing?
Right,
We can name it whatever you want. That was.
yeah, we can change the name to make it consistent with the assessment.
I just called it data processing.
Do you meet with Excalibur like once a year, all three heads?
Yes.
We meet with them almost once a month.
With XCal,
Yeah.
I meet with them once a month.
What about the other two? The town, the road district and the assessor's office?
They meet with the engineers that come in every 2 weeks to address any issues, either, any department is having. We have an on-site engineer to do maintenance on all the computers.
So do they come in every 2 weeks automatically, or is it
Yes.
when there's an issue?
It's scheduled.
It's scheduled, and there's always an issue, believe me.
Well, there's updates and stuff that need to be done.
That they have to do with it, yeah, we can't.
They maintain all that. And then they address any issues anybody's having.
When was the last time you checked out Excalibur versus other providers?
Last year.
Last year we did. And the other providers,
I had 2 providers tell me that they couldn't even come close. They wouldn't even give me an estimate.
And those 2 providers were?
One was out of Barrington and the other one was out of Schaumburg. And I have their names and whatnot in my office.
What do other townships do?
What do you mean?
what
Who do they use?
Like just say Nunda Township, what do they do?
I don't know. I've never asked
I
them.
don't know.
I do know XCal does some other townships though, but I don't know which ones.
Well, is it possible we could do that sometime to find out what other townships are doing, because they might have a better.
I've done that.
Oh, we've done that,
I've done that.
yeah.
We've
One
done,
of,
we've
one
done
of
it in the last 4
the,
years.
one of the companies I went to was,
I don't mean to be looking at you all the time, but
you can look at me all you want.
it's really the supervisor.
I'll give you whatever answers.
How,
I'll give you whatever answers I have.
She has all the records on the computer there, that's.
I went through, whoever Algonquin was using 2 years ago, I forget who it was. But like I said, I have the names in my office. And, they wouldn't even, I don't know, they wouldn't even look at it.
well, they're comparable townships right across the border in Lake County, okay?
Yeah, like Fox Lake, Grant Township.
Yeah, that would be one of size,
Right.
comparable population.
I should ask Sue. I've never asked Sue who they use.
We can go back and ask some questions.
I'm just trying to figure out if we're getting a good deal from Excalibur.
Every time
I
I've gone
believe
out
we are,
for bid,
or We've gone out
to
for
get
bid.
quotes or whatever,
Quotes, no one's
no
come back
one
cheaper.
will come in even close.
Because it's about 10%.
And they're only charging, I think if it was an hourly rate, I wanna say it's 85 an hour,
Which is cheap, usually.
which is cheap.
Most of them are 150, I think.
Yeah, between 120 or higher.
I believe we're getting a good deal there, Steve. We've checked it out many times.
Well, it's something that has to be checked out
We check,
We do.
we do check it out almost yearly,
Every 2 years, I
or every 2 years. we check it.
because I know it's gonna come up.
Right, we check anytime it's coming up, we're checking it out, make
Okay.
sure.
I
Okay.
do.
All right, let's move along. Consulting services. We have $8,000 on
And it seems to me you're expecting to. We didn't really use much.
there. Well, wait a minute.
No, we didn't.
We did, you're right, so we could lower that.
But what's contemplated to be consulted?
It could be for anything, actually.
You know, if something comes up that we don't have the expertise with, we might go to a consultant to get the expertise from them. We just don't know exactly here what's gonna happen.
All right, so last year, what did we consult with? I know we did the bills, okay, but I know we approved the
Last
bills.
year
for
was
our
Think
football.
Big, Go Local. That's for the, Facebook page, so it's public relations.
You want to lower, Steve?
The,
Well, I'm just trying to get a handle.
10,000, expenses are 25.
You know,
the only other thing is when we do the maps for the township, that comes out of there, and any advertisement through Shaw Media, or Shaw newspaper, media. We really didn't have much this year, though.
But
We
that's
didn't
already-
have to do new maps or anything, so.
But Shaw Media is already in there for printing and publishing, right?
Right, but this is Shaw for advertising, I think, right?
yeah,
Advertising what?
I don't know.
they,
Wasn't that looking for the information to do the newsletter?
yeah, it was.
To
at
get
that
the
time. It was, yeah.
advertising for the
was the
newsletter, which
advertising.
didn't pan out,
Which
so.
didn't pan out,
We didn't
so-
use it this year.
So we didn't use it, so that's what it was.
Let's take it down to 6,000, because that's what the actual was in 2018 to 19.
I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I think you should take it to 5,000.
Well, but in 2018-19, we spent 58, right?
Yeah, but for what? What was the consulting done? For what?
1819 was when we tried to get that advertising, so.
Yeah.
And we didn't use that at all.
Okay, so Steve, you're saying what?
He's saying 5.
Saying 5?
Which is double than what the actual is. There's nothing in the pipeline, right? For the rest of this
Well, there were,
fiscal year.
we just probably maybe like $500 or so.
Okay, so I can agree $5,000.
We're going 5,000?
Okay. All right, going down the list, office supplies.
Well, could you explain to me what the difference between office supplies and operating supplies are?
Office supplies are like our pens, paper, folders, file folders, that kind of stuff, highlighters, whatever, tape, staples. Operating supplies is more stuff that we need, that we split between departments for, like, oh, pardon, I looked at this before because I wanted to know. I can't remember. Hold on, let me look it up really quick.
Oh, operating supply, I've got that, or cleaning supplies and paper.
Oh, that's it, cleaning supplies.
Supplies and paper goods are under
I know I
operating
looked it
supplies.
up and I
In
forgot.
other words, things that we need.
Well, Debbie just said paper comes in office supplies.
Correct.
So what do you mean paper is
No,
also?
I mean like paper towels,
Oh.
toilet paper, that type of stuff.
Yeah, it gets split between each department.
Now, when you say each department, you mean each department within the town,
Correct.
not with the road.
Correct, not with the road.
So this is actually part of the assessors in here.
Correct. Well, no, the assessor gets charged to her department.
Oh, so there's an actual
Yes.
ability to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
We split all that by department. We try to break it down as much as possible.
What was our budget for last year for this?
For the operating,
Office supplies?
hold on,
See, we're right around,
last year,
Yeah.
was 27,
So we're actually, we've already.
and right now we're at 2735.
So we've spent
And
more
we
than
still
that.
have, yeah. Well, the cost of all paper goods have gone up.
And those are just general supplies for the office. We want to go to the next page, John? All right, furniture, equipment, and software. Wow.
So, I thought the software was covered under Excalibur.
That's maintenance of the software. When we originally purchased the software, that is not purchased through them.
The original purchase of like a new software.
So like if I was to buy a page maker or something, software, we haven't bought any new software in a long time, so I think we have everything we need.
This is also if
For any office furniture, fixtures, any equipment, like printers, scanners, that kind of thing, if something breaks down.
they go down every now and then. They only last so long.
Well, there's a line item underneath furniture that isn't labeled.
That's the.
That's the total.
That's the total from my.
Oh, okay, okay.
And that will change from what we
Yes,
discussed.
it'll change. All right,
Okay, let's go on to direct funded services. This is what we put in there. Mchenry County Recycling Education. We do give them $650 a year, and what that is for is they go to the schools in Mchenry Township, Harrison, I believe Parkland, I believe Johnsburg schools, and whatever other schools are in the township. And they do programs with kids to teach them about recycling and keeping the planet green, etc. And that's a once-a-year deal for us. So they are supporting the local schools and the local kids.
So we're expecting to pay that?
Yes, that is the fee.
actually, it's in the bills this month. It only comes once a year.
It's only a once-a-year expense, and it
So who does it actually go to?
Goes to.
Who are we paying $650 to?
McHenry County Recycle. Can you look it up then?
Is it McHenry County Environmental,
Services,
Something.
something like
Right.
that? Let me take a look really quick. Goes to McSeep. I know you're gonna ask me what that stands
McHenry
for.
County,
McHenry County Environmental, it's called McSeep.
McHenry
And
County
it's an
Environmental
acronym.
Programming or something like that.
McHenry County Environmental Educational Program, I think.
Yeah.
Do you have any literature from them we could look at, see what it is?
No. I don't.
They provide this to
They
the
provide it
schools.
with the thing, but I mean,
Well, how do we know what, how is this a township expense in the first place?
Well, because it was teaching kids in the township schools,
The school was asking for support too.
for support for it, but, and it's been there for a while.
So part of the school budget has been lashed onto the township budget?
I'm with you, Steve, let the schools pay for it.
Yeah,
All right, you wanna take it out? I
I'll
don't have
take it out, let the schools pay for it.
Okay, we'll take it out.
Um,
We do have
According to
one,
them, it
want to
should be
make
in
sure
one of the line
everybody
items.
do that.
but we, oh yeah, let's have a roll call for a motion.
well, I'd like to know what they're even teaching, what it is, what we're paying for, and not just,
It's for
They demand-
recycling and keeping the environment,
no, no,
They go
no.
that's what they do.
Then I'd like to see something in
Well,
writing.
you can go on the internet.
No, we're not going on the internet. I want to see, if they want the money, they can come to one of our meetings.
Well, Steve, from my end of it, I think that's one of the schools, line item. Why is that even a line item for the township?
How did this get through last year?
We just let it go.
How many years have we been paying for it?
Years.
We
Has
should
it gone
push
up?
last year.
Is it
No.
always
Yeah.
650?
It has not gone up.
We'll go
It's
forward.
actually it's gone down, because we used to pay 12.
So it's a voluntary thing? We can figure out, we can pay $100 if we want. How did the 650 figure come?
It's based on,
I believe it's
students, I believe.
that are getting the.
It's McHenry County Schools Environmental Education Programs. It's through the county, and it's inspiring awareness and empowering action. They provide STEM activities, correlation to the next generation of science standards, pre-K through K-12. We present lessons for homeschool students, organizations, scouts, environmental clubs, and adults. Kids K through 12.
So is this a private thing or what?
No,
Through
it's
the
part of a
county?
grant, a community foundation grant through McHenry County.
Then I definitely would like to know what they're up to.
Yeah, so we could just have a vote. I vote to cut it,
Out.
or a motion to cut it off.
You got a motion, go ahead.
I'll second your motion.
Okay, let's take a roll call vote.
Hold on one second, please. If the county is supporting this, then there must be other townships that are
Yes.
also
Yes,
involved in this,
I'm sure
right?
there is.
Yes.
Well, we're not dealing with the other
That's an
townships.
assumption,
We're dealing with
okay?
this township.
It's an assumption you made that we don't know.
Well, I was just wondering if other townships are involved in this. We
But that's
don't
got
know
nothing to do with us. For Steve's motion, my second is that should not be a function of township government, that should not be part of our funding. If the other townships decide to do that, it's up to the board. We can't, we can't make decisions for other boards, we're gonna make
Okay.
decisions here.
Good enough.
Okay, we had a first by, you seconded it?
I second,
Okay, roll call vote, Mr. Anderson.
yes?
Mr. Rickstrom.
Yes.
Mr. Adams, yes. Mr. Bear.
Yes?
Mr. Wojciechowski.
Yes. Go on.
Next line is miscellaneous expenses. Could you tell us what's in there?
It's like petty cash, right?
That's the way I look at it.
No.
No.
We don't have a petty cash.
Right, but this is the equivalent of it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's for anything miscellaneous that comes up that we don't have
You're right.
assigned
It's
to a line
equivalent-
item,
It's
yes.
equivalent to that, yes, you're correct.
So, if, just say for example, the per diem amount is run out under the budget, it could come out of this, right?
No.
No.
Well, all right, so what does it have to be a miscellaneous expense in order for it, because we've spent, what, 885 already this year? So what is it?
I'm looking right now, I'm pulling it up.
And just so we have a good idea, if there's any item that always comes due in March that will throw off these figures for what's already been spent. Can you bring that up when we get to it?
I don't know.
What do you,
He's saying like if there's, he's really looking for final figures, but we don't know.
Right, so if there's something, a big,
Percentage of how much has been spent.
on a particular line item that always comes in March or February that isn't on here. So we have a clear idea of how much we need, how much it is for the past year. If you know. I mean, if you
oh,
know.
yeah, there's some things we know, some I don't. So I would have to pull these bills directly, because it's just giving me vendor name and amount.
Well, I'm not asking for an itemization of the 885 that was already spent last year, but just an idea of what would come under that.
That's what I was just gonna say, because it says like Sam's Club, so it was something miscellaneous, I don't know what it was. There was an Amazon, actually 2 Amazon and 2 Stock and Field, so I don't know what the specific item was that caused it to go under miscellaneous.
It was something out of the ordinary that we needed to buy at the store, apparently.
And that could be, then the only other thing that would be in there would be clothing.
For miscellaneous.
Yeah, it goes under miscellaneous. We don't have a separate line item for clothing.
That would be for the parks people, really.
The Parks has their own, they have a uniform
So
line
who gets
item.
who gets the clothing out of, for what? What kind of clothing?
Huh?
Who's getting the clothing, why?
It depends if they're going out or
When are they going out to where?
to a meeting or whatever.
Why do they have to have clothes? They have to have their own clothes, but why are we paying for clothes?
When I meet with clients, I like to have my.
You might like to, but I don't see where that needs to be, you know.
It was made
I
a long
can
time
see
ago.
I can see the
Stop.
assessment.
It was made a long time ago that everyone was to have a uniform. We have a uniform shirt. This was done years ago, probably 10 years ago when Donna was here. And so anybody at the front desk is greeted, or anybody that's walking around is greeted that has Mchenry Township on their shirt.
But she's not here anymore.
I get that.
But
I'm just saying, that's how that came about.
The last budget meeting we had a year ago was, the assessor brought up, well, people go to somebody's house that should be identified.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
When I
If
go to
you're in a
meetings, I like
township,
to
you
be
got this big
identified.
sign, you should be identified as a township person without any clothes here. You don't have to have a button, you're in the township, how could you not be identified as a township employee?
I go out a lot,
Then
so I
you
have
go. How
meetings
about you
outside
say-
of the building.
Okay, well then maybe you need a button or something, I don't know. But somebody sitting here, you know,
I already have a
how many,
jacket on
how
mine.
many people are getting, you know, clothes here?
Oh, just the people at the front.
Well, how much money is it?
We're talking $115.
A person?
No, for the whole year.
I guess I can still question, but I'm not gonna.
Well, yeah, you can still question, I get it, I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. We don't, like, I've had this for a while. I won't get a new one, it's perfectly
Doesn't-
fine.
oh.
I've had this since.
So we're missing a
before
clerk
Donna.
and a supervisor
What, huh?
right now.
Oh. I mean, you know, to me, I don't think she should be in there, but that's. well,
It's
let
it's
somebody else-
$100 out of that
Let somebody else
800.
talk about the board. I just don't see taking, public money buying clothes for
I get that.
employees. I just have a problem with it, even if it's not $50. Let somebody else speak to it.
Maybe we could just go with a badge.
I'll keep wearing my jacket.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm not telling you to put in a bonfire, but it's like,
But miscellaneous,
okay.
yeah, it's only miscellaneous, you couldn't tell what it was.
Well, Debbie, you say it's $100 and some dollars or something. But we're talking, it looks like we're talking about a whole bunch more money than that.
I just said that is part of
That
what
was
the
part of it.
miscellaneous
She broke it down.
was. There was $100 charge.
All right, why don't we do this? Either reduce it to 2,000 now, or at the next meeting, just have a breakdown for the year, how much went through there and what it was.
I just gave it to you. The 800?
Yeah, but we don't know what it was bought.
Oh, you mean the specific line item, or
Yeah.
specific items that were bought?
I'm confident that
You
there
know
was
what?
something that you needed, okay?
Yeah, Steve, and looking at the, let me just double check.
You could bring the miscellaneous.
Yes,
down,
the
is
2,000,
that what you're saying?
I would be fine with that, because it looks like we won't need more than that.
So do we need a motion for that, or do we just go on?
No, we don't need a motion. Is everybody in agreement to 2,000 on
Only if
that?
you eliminate a line item.
Okay, we'll make that 2,000. All right, mosquito abatement. Bob, I know you're not crazy about this, but this is the last year of the contract, so we wouldn't have to do it next year. It stayed the same for every, for a 4-year period. That's what it is.
It really is a useless expense, considering how mosquitoes travel and
Okay, well,
now all the questions about autism coming from these pesticides.
I understand.
Do you need a motion?
We can't take it out this year. Next year we can.
Okay, so
We're
this
stuck
is-
with it.
How long was that contract for?
It's a 4-year contract.
So we gotta wait another year, okay?
Yep, 1 more year, and then next year it's renewable.
Well, has the contract actually been reviewed by the attorney? There might be ways out of it if the board didn't approve it.
We'd be more than happy to take a peek at it and see if
That's
there's
a
any,
good point, we should take a look at that.
I'll give it to Jim
If
to,
there's a penalty or something?
I can be ready for next week to let you know what's, that way you can keep it in and keep it out.
Thank you.
It's just- I mean, because of its size.
Understood.
I believe that there's a
Well,
possibility.
there's two things, oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
That we could negotiate with the service that is providing this, and just say, look, there's a decision by the board to get rid of this, what can we do?
Absolutely. I mean, there could be a provision in there, there could be a notice provision, there could be, yeah, absolutely. So I can give you options next week.
Yeah.
They won't be spraying for quite a while.
You don't think?
Okay.
No
Now,
mosquitoes?
does this contract, it always has the same geographic area or what?
it's all Mchenry Township.
And the reports, you've gotten the reports every time they spray in your board packets.
Well, I can only recall one time they sprayed since I've been on the board.
They don't spray a lot anymore. They do a lot, I mean, they do occasionally when the population becomes, people start to complain a lot when they're getting bit a lot because there's lots of mosquitoes.
Well, they even complain now, even when you do the program.
Yeah, you're right.
I hear it all the time.
You're right.
Mosquitoes have been around ever since I've been alive.
So it's like a
They could still be
snowplow
around.
thing, if it snows a lot, then it's a good deal for the,
I think what they do is.
No, they,
Well, now they go after the babies.
they larvicide them, Steve, and all the standing
They
water.
treat standing water.
Standing water so
Right, they
mosquitoes
treat the
don't,
standing water.
hatch.
They don't spray as much.
maybe they can be converted to spray for the coronavirus.
All right, Mr. Milton, will look at that. Nuisance enforcement, that's what it is, generally, it's the weed ordinance that, this board took out at one point and then put back in, so,
So we've actually put liens out on people last year?
Yes.
yes, we did. So that money,
$1,700 worth.
that
That
money,
always comes back.
that money comes back,
Always.
It
eventually.
always gets back once the property is.
Well, wait a minute. This is really for what, the attorney?
The attorney puts a lien on it, but that's also the cost of whatever the lien is.
I know, but is this part of the legal expenses or is it part
Oh, I
a
don't,
separate thing?
I think that's illegal.
It's everything is included in that, anything that relates to the lien,
What's
the
the,
work.
what's the expense besides the attorney's work on it? You send someone from the parks to go out and look? or
Oh,
what?
yes.
Yes, they have to go out and look, but they also have to cut the property down or whatever.
Okay. Well, their salary wouldn't be an add-on at all.
Most of the time, we don't ourselves cut these weeds down.
No, we
We
have an
contract
outside
with a
service.
company to do it. And whatever their bill is, gets put on the lien.
So maybe, why
We
wouldn't it
pay
be
it.
cheaper to get the park people to it? They're already on the employee.
Well, because the reason, they used to do it in the past, Steve, but these lots and stuff, when you get in there, are so full of crap and stuff, they would ruin their
don't have the
mowers and
equipment.
stuff. And so we found it cheaper to contract out so we don't ruin our equipment and let the guy that, you know, wants to do it, use his equipment and our maintenance would go way up on equipment if we did all that, I believe.
It's probably done with small lawnmowers, because you're like small.
I have
lots.
no idea, you know, it's done by, some big maintenance company.
Well, how many lots were done last year? I'm not asking. you.
Total complaints
It's
last
less than
year?
10, right? It's gotta be less than 10.
Oh,
Yeah, it was less than 10.
less than 10.
It usually averages about 250 a property, right?
A little more than that, it's probably closer to 600 to 800.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it can
And
be,
what is the,
depending on what's being done.
What,
No.
okay. Yeah, that's what I remember.
So then we're really only talking about 4 a year.
No, but we have okay, most people will resolve their complaints, okay?
These are the unresolved.
Those are the unresolved ones.
So who does that? You? Who's the one
Our
that
operation,
says-
our operation manager goes
He
out
goes
and looks
out.
at those properties, takes pictures of them. Then I send them a notice saying, you know, you need to clean this up within, a reasonable amount of time here. And if they don't clean it up, I send them a second notice and
I
say,
mean, you don't go looking for them, just because somebody has
these
to
are people
complain
that
first.
complain to us about these.
Right.
So you're living next door to somebody that's not cutting his grass and it's this high. That's, so we get complaints from citizens to do something about it.
So
I'd say 90% of them will take care of it themselves once we notify them.
if you have to come and do the lawns, how many times per year, per season, would you think that we have to go out there and actually cut the lawn?
Normally, it only ends up being one time, but I could tell you that possibly some I don't know off the top of my head right now. But I mean, there could be some of it just won't comply,
Yeah.
and then we'll have to go again. What's become a problem in the past few years is foreclosures. Banks don't care. We'll send a notice, they don't care. They're just gonna, they'll take the lien and they'll work it out after it gets sold, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So they won't go cut it no matter what you do.
So, in essence, it's almost like the road district maintaining the right-of-way.
Correct. It's
So it
very
might
similar.
be 2 times or maybe 3 times, depending on when the complaint is made.
The majority of them are one time, I'll tell you that. But, yeah, right, it could be 2 times, maximum would be 3, I'd say. Yeah, I think majority of them one time, yeah. Yeah. Usually most people, will comply, especially if we cut it once. Okay, we're moving on. Senior program net, and Debbie has to explain this, we were just told by the accountants, and it's a good thing too.
Well, we have 2 changes. Do you want me to go over those?
Yes,
now?
would you break down?
Okay, we can no longer do the senior program net reimbursement line item. We're not allowed to now. I just found this out on Thursday, so I wasn't gonna make any changes. I'll explain it. So on the senior program, we're gonna have to do a separate line item, which I will be adding in a revenue for the amount of money we take in for the different programs. And then there will be an expense, and these should wash each other out. We are also gonna need to do the same thing in the parks for security, town hall security. So, when security is requested at an event where they're renting our town hall, we take in revenue for that, and then the security we pay out needs to come out of an expense line item, so I will be adding those 2.
And they
So I'll
will-
be adding a revenue and an expense for security.
And the revenue and expense should wash each other.
And they wash each other.
Yeah.
So we only charge them what it costs.
When you say disallowed by who?
The
Pardon
account,
me, the accountant told us that we can no longer do that net reimbursement.
that's the CPA.
And it could be because we're ending up with money left over in it. I don't know
So-
why.
Just from a number standpoint, it's like saying, for example, your expense is 21,000, strike that, your expense is 30,000, but yet your revenue's 21,000, so then your net value, net expense would be 9,000, right? Correct. Yeah, but in this case, you'd be saying, we're gonna get revenue of 21, and we're gonna have expense of 30, so that number may go up, and then, but the net effect is still gonna be 9.
Correct. But the way this actually is gonna work, or it should work, is that the money we're taking in will be the exact same amount of the money that we're
Paying out.
paying
I
out.
thought it's supposed to be washed.
So it'll be a wash,
It'll be
they're
a
gonna
wash
end up
account.
being, both being wash account.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it will be.
Right, because we couldn't do it the way we were doing it.
We were just advised this recently.
Thursday,
Yeah, Thursday.
so, yay.
Okay, going down the line, we have Mchenry County Historic, we took that out last year, it's still out, we'll start to take it off this list in the future here. MISRA programs, generally, we've talked about in the past, this is, various cities pay to belong to NISRA. And NISRA is, for the disabled, developmentally disabled, handicapped people. And I would say it's more
It's all recreation.
all recreational activities for them that they couldn't do otherwise. So to belong to NISRA is very, very expensive. So years ago, it was decided that we didn't want to pay that fee to belong to NISRA. Instead, what we would do is, the people that are in the township that aren't in a city, let's say, that is already paid for.
Out of district.
Out of district, if they're out of district, we would pay the difference between the out of district fee and the resident fee. So in other words, you know, it's like the library. If you don't live in the library, you pay more, you know. So we're covering the difference for only recreational activities for these people. They have to, it's all done through NISRA. They send us forms guaranteeing us that this person, you know, did participate in this, blah, 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 for a number of years.
Why isn't this in the parks? Because it's a recreational.
I've never been there. I suppose we can move it there. It doesn't matter.
Well,
Do you have any idea how many people,
It was a direct funded service. We directly funded it.
know how many people actually use that service? Do you-
It's quite a few.
10, 20?
What would you say, Deb?
Just an estimate.
I'd say about,
We would like to expect it.
I would say about 20 probably in a given year. It's not a tremendous amount. It's not a tremendous amount of money. It's a nice thing.
So it's like $30 a person?
Yeah, approximately, depending upon what they're,
Not bad.
I don't really have a problem with that at all.
I don't either. It's helping some people that need the help, so.
I didn't have a problem with it, except that it should be under the parks budget.
Okay,
I
well,
think the
we'll look at,
supervisor said that. Yeah.
I
You're
mean,
just gonna move the line item to the parks.
if you want to move it.
But I don't think you have any trouble with the board having the expense, of it,
Okay,
right?
no, that's okay, then I'll move the line item to the park, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, special events, okay, that we could lower that, gentlemen, if you'd like to. That was for like when the Wall of Heel came and Bob helped out, remember Bob? Special events that we might throw,
We haven't really had it.
we haven't had any.
Touch truck.
I
Touch
think
a
we
truck,
certainly
no, no
lower it.
touch on it.
But that's not our.
That's not ours.
We don't do that.
That's true. We're a district.
So, you know, we spent, it looks like
We spent $360 this year.
$64. I'd be amenable to lowering that to 500 for the year, if you would agree with that.
Agreed.
Agreed?
Right?
I agree.
Okay.
What were the events this year?
Well, I don't know. Debbie, you have to look
I'm
up.
looking right now, I don't even know what it would have been.
Do we need a motion on that, or just do it?
No, we can just do it. If everybody agrees, everybody agrees.
Fine.
We're not
The only thing
discontinuing.
that comes out of there is,
No, not just-
anything for the parades. The parades
Oh.
come out of that.
Parades come out of that. Parade fees.
Well,
It's a special event. Okay.
It's funny how trustees were never told about any of these parades.
You've always been invited to parades.
In what form? I never got an email or anything.
We always put it on the sheet for the agenda.
No, there hasn't.
If you would like it, I will make sure I send you an email.
That has never appeared, and since I've been on,
You've
It's never
approved,
been
you've
appeared.
approved every one of them.
I have not, it has
I've
not
seen
been
it,
on.
I don't know if it's Steve's been on, I've seen it, but, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, they're in with the
He doesn't
bills.
send me an invitation, I'm not gonna be in there. But it's.
I mean, I'll make sure I send
It's
you
up to
an
Steve,
invitation.
We're lowering that to 500, you said?
There's only,
Why does the township even need to be in that?
It's a
Why are
question.
you looking at me? I don't go
That's
to
a
the
question.
parade.
No,
It is
I
a
mean,
question.
why?
It's part of the community.
part of the community. I mean,
Did we lower that to 500?
Well, then I'd like a sign put on. Our participation in this parade has been funded by you. Okay,
By the taxpayer.
oh, fine.
it's ridiculous.
Well, there's two parades, right?
There's really
Yeah.
only two.
The one in McHenry and Johnsburg, right?
Right,
And
that's
you're
it.
probably
Wonder
what,
Lake.
$5?
Oh,
Wonder
Wonder
Lake,
Lake.
he did do Wonder Lake,
We did do Wonder Lake.
Wonder Lake, yeah.
right.
And what does it cost to,
It's not a,
Huh?
what does it cost to get in, a float in there?
I don't know. We spent
They-
$360
they
and we were
they
in
vary
three
by
of them.
who it is.
Hold on. I'll pull that up. I already closed it, sorry. Looks like it's about $50.
But the goal is probably to promote townships, right?
Well, it's just to
Right.
show that the
Yes.
township exists, I mean,
Well, but I mean, I'm not gonna.
The kids like that.
It's worth this a discussion, but.
I'm happy with
Oh,
500
does-
bucks.
Like buying candy?
no, we don't buy candy. If there is candy, it's purchased by our own funds. There's no candy. It's just mainly the float and getting it ready, that's it. And the fee for being in the parade. So are we good with $500?
But who gets the vehicle?
You mean who gets the vehicle?
What, from Gary Lang or somebody, they ask for a free
We use
car?
the township vehicle.
We use a township, truck usually to pull it. And then sometimes we do go to Gary Lane and get a vehicle there.
Oh, I'm for keeping 500.
All right. You okay with that, Bob?
I'm okay.
Okay. I'm okay with it. You okay with it, Stan?
Yes.
Okay. Then we're good. Okay, Mchenry McRae, which you approved this year, that's the cost, $7,600. Okay?
Next.
Okay, then we're going down, it's the capital phone, you asked about that before, that was possibly to upgrade the phone system. If we don't have to upgrade it, we won't spend it.
Well, but as long as it's in the capital fund, it could be spent for something else, right?
Only if it's a capital item.
If it's a capital item, I will promise you we'll come to you if it's gonna be spent for something else, and ask your permission.
What you could say is that's what it's gonna be spent on. We did it last year in some of the road district stuff.
I don't have a problem with that.
But it may
Yeah,
not be
that's what
spent.
it's there for,
But it
so.
may not be spent.
No, if you say it's gotta be spent, it can't be moved then, right?
If you tell me it's gotta be spent only on a phone upgrade system, yeah.
It
then-
can't be moved. That's what we had.
Right, you can't.
So if we say that, Steve, it's gotta stay there.
Yeah, but there might be some innovation that they don't even need to do it.
Well, we're not gonna do it unless we have to
We didn't
do
do
it.
it this year.
We didn't do it
because
this year because it wasn't
necessary.
necessary. We won't do it next year. We know it's coming, we don't know when. Once phones start to break, then we're gonna have a problem. They haven't broke.
Is it possible to make a notation that we pass it this year and that if we don't use it this year, that balance just goes over and we don't have to have it
It
in the budget?
automatically does.
But the
anyway.
problem is, though,
I mean-
Mike, is, oh, I'm sorry.
We would probably put it in again next year. If we didn't do it this year, we'd probably put it again next year because we know it's gonna come pretty
It's the
soon.
only
But if it
capital.
was in a lockbox, it would already be segregated out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if you're saying upgrade phone system only, then we can do that.
But I mean, we're not gonna add another additional amount equivalent to what we're adding now.
No. It would get rolled over and we won't, yeah, you're not spending like 30, 60, 90, no, you're not.
But if you don't say it's gonna be spent on that, there's a way they can move that money around.
Yeah, and we're making that notation, right?
I'm fine with that.
Unless he wants to lower it, I don't
Well,
know.
where'd the $30,000 come from?
That was just, we went out and asked
Asked
a couple of
Companies, what,
3 different companies,
what-
and we just got an idea of what it
what it
might
would cost.
Until the actual time comes,
You can't.
and that would be all brought to the board with
Yeah, you-
whatever, and it would have to go out for bid,
It would have to go out for bid, so we couldn't do it without going out for bid, so.
right?
I don't have
It's
a
just,
problem.
Okay, we'll put it for upgrade phone system only. All right, contingency fund, we've got $50,000 in there. We spent 23 so far, it looks like.
that was for the lawsuit that we had to pay out.
Oh, those are monies we had to pay out to settle some of those lawsuits for overaccumulation. Okay.
Well, that didn't really come out to 23,000, did it? Mr. Molotov?
I don't remember, I know it was,
I can look it up.
She'll look it up, she's got the note. I believe that's what it was for.
So,
I wanna say one was like 9,000.
oh, so that's just the settlement fund?
Yes.
Right, just the settlement
Just the
monies,
settlement.
correct.
there was
Okay.
an
But
amount
what- So
for the road
what are we
district.
expecting now to put this up to 50 now?
We don't know.
Contingency is for unexpected.
We don't know what might happen.
But, you know,
It isn't just for lawsuits.
No.
No, for any
Say,
unexpected.
say a major furnace goes out. I gotta have money somewhere to buy one.
well then, but, you know, for my end of it, I'm still concerned about how we voted to take the bus service out, and somehow $100,000 came out of the money to continue the bus service. Could this money be used to do that
No.
again?
No, not if it's in this budget, it cannot.
So if it says contingency fund, it's gotta
It's
be.
in this budget, they can't take it out and move
It's
it.
not gonna move that.
No, they can't. It's just
So
for,
where did the $100,000?
Came out of
where did
reserve.
That came out of reserve, so
reserve
that's the
fund.
number we gotta be careful of.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's just there for those type of unexpected things.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. So we're done with town fund budget now. We'll make the changes that you asked for.
And it's still dependent on information for the various items, like,
There's just 2 things that would have to be researched,
Jim is researching it
Yes.
tomorrow.
and they're marked,
And the mosquito,
right.
And the mosquito,
and the road district.
and the road district, those 3 items, is that right, Steve?
Right, correct.
That's what I have.
right,
All right.
and then this was going really on the parks, okay.
Oh, right, I'll move that to the parks, that's right. Remind me that.
Well, I have those changes, those are different.
You got those?
Those don't require research.
All right. Well, Senior Express is next, we're taking that out. That's it. Next is the assessor.
Yep, well, wait a minute.
What? We're taking the senior, you said you wanted it out, so we're taking it out.
So that's the entirety.
The entirety.
Why was it so much lower for the proposed?
Because I was lowering the number of personnel and reducing service to try and keep it going, but if you don't want it, you don't want it. That's why it was so much lower. And which would reduce the number of people we could have picked up, et cetera.
Well, how do the fares come into it then, if you're still gonna continue it?
I just said we're not gonna
We
continue.
already made a decision, it's gone. We voted on it.
Oh, our fares somewhere in the budget, then they have to come out, wherever they're at.
It's on the revenue page, it's taken out automatically.
It'll be taken out of the
It's
revenue.
part of the senior program.
Right.
Is that what you're asking?
The 7,000 fares
Yeah.
come out.
That'll come
Something
out.
like that. I had allocated 7 and then 9, so it'd be 9,000 reduced. Cause you got the bus vouchers.
Gotcha.
So are those gonna be refunded to people that had bought them? The books?
The books that have been bought. I would just stop selling books.
We're gonna stop selling
Yeah,
books.
but there's gotta be some people that still have the books.
I'm sure they'll use them over the next 2 months if they bought books.
We'll stop, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no necessarily,
There's no reason to
there's
stop
no refund.
until,
Oh, it says that on the book?
we would just let people know that
Yeah.
there will be no more service.
No more service.
Okay.
All right, we're to the assessor. I don't know if we want to keep going today, gentlemen, or if
Yeah.
you'd like to, well, if you'd like to stop, because she's not here, but we can go through it, and then I guess if you have questions, we can take them to her.
Let's have her here, so she can answer questions.
She's
Well,
still in the middle of.
She's in the,
yeah.
why don't we,
Well, why don't we go to the parks and have her on the next one, and come back? If that's the case, it might want to.
okay.
Want to do that?
You want me to grab?
Who wants to hear?
Yeah, we have to grab some.
I'll grab one.
What do you want to do for next time?
How long are we figuring on going tonight, by the way?
Till noon, I would hope.
Yeah, it's not past noon. Do you want to do it at 12:30, 11:30?
What,
Not past noon.
no, we're not going past noon.
11:30 is good.
Huh?
11:30 is good.
Okay, 11:30, 11:30.
You want your subtotal and expenses?
Yeah, how much?
Yeah, well, you're right now at 754. Making all the changes, you're at 757, 848. So this number that was here,
We can look them up, that's something.
so on this admin section here, you were at 782, 998. Now you're at 757, 848.
Can I see that?
So instead of 782, it's 7.
And the big one would be, if we get on the mosquito contract.
That would drop it to 64.
They have expenses in that, so it would make sense that they, if we're not having.
If you want out of the contract,
Yeah.
is it $20,000, $10,000? Or is there a provision that says upon 30 days notice or 6 months notice?
Yeah.
Something about it, it's only used on a corporate area, the city people are paying 80% of it.
And you're not using it until probably June. I doubt it.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure when they go out.
But anyway,
It would be in that fiscal year. You're right.
but the contract is usually be a penny.
Is that how much?
Yeah.
Now, he'll like that. You got a good memory, but not that great. So the assessors give them extra.
Okay, I can, oh, yeah, we gotta, Debbie, we don't need her right now.
So that's, we think we should get out of here like 11:30.
Okay. That'd be
If
great.
we don't finish this.
Oh, you wanna get out of
We
11?
want, yeah, but I don't think we're gonna finish it if we
Okay.
could, but we want the meeting ended up.
Okay, that's fine with me. All right, and parks, guys, I can just tell you, we reduced one full-time staff in there. That's why you see salaries coming down.
So that person only had a $26,000 salary?
Probably, yes. They're not highly paid.
Okay.
Now, that 26, does that include our responsibility for social security? or-
Yes. Well, no, that would be just in the salary. That gets reflected down here further where it gets reduced.
Benefits usually about 30%.
So you can see it in the line items going down here.
Okay.
That stuff
Here's a big one. Oh,
is all
no, I don't
reduced,
see any express policy.
except for I'm rough. I don't know what that is. I don't think that one should go up. We're gonna have to ask about that one.
Keep going back.
So, just so we understand, there's 4 people now, but it's going to go down to 3,
I think it would be.
right?
Yeah.
And there's no part-time in that.
There is a
There's
part-time.
one part-time.
One part-time.
All right, so
Seasonal, one part-time seasonal.
so we're going from 4 full-time to 3 full-time, and then a single seasonal person.
I think you have.
No.
Oh, I'm
there's
sorry.
two- It's 2 full-time and 2 part-time.
2 full-time, 2 part-time, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Got that wrong.
Okay.
Debbie, I have a question though on, I don't know,
Go ahead.
you can answer this, on IMRF it went up. I don't know
It
why,
went up.
I don't know why it would have gone, I mean, slightly maybe, but I don't know why it went up.
I would have to ask HR. I don't know if that's a rate increase or something, or
Okay, we'll check on that figure, gentlemen, bring it back to you next time, that, to me, doesn't look,
it should actually go down.
it should go down, that's what I'm saying.
So you're not,
I'll have to double check that with, I'll double check that with Flo.
We'll leave that open
And it
until
could
next
be
meeting.
a typo too. I'll
Could have been a
double check
typo,
that.
could have been, it should go down.
and there's no overtime at all?
There occasionally, I think it's, is there overtime?
There's occasionally overtime, but
But it's
it wasn't
only,
proposed, so.
I don't think we put anything in.
You don't have
There's
anything
nothing
like
here
that.
for this budget. There's nothing in for overtime.
No,
This
we
budget.
didn't propose any.
All right, so there's going to be some addition there, right?
Yes.
There'll be, there's nothing in there. We should, we'll go back and estimate that for you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Overtime happens when they gotta do snow plowing and stuff.
Yeah, we were talking,
Normally
me and him were talking about it, and
Yeah, normally it's at 55, but it's gonna come down.
It's gonna come down,
Right.
okay. We'll come back to you with that number also.
Terry, when you've got a snow event, do you alternate times that people work? Like, you'll have one start at 6 o'clock, one start at 2 o'clock? Or do you have everybody on at the same time and then you put overtime?
If there's alternate, we have an early guy in to assess the operation, then Bill and Jack come in, one come in about 7, and Jack comes in around 8. So we try to alter it so nobody goes into the overtime mode. But for
So
instance,
what happens if you have a snow at 8 o'clock at night?
We
Well-
usually wait till morning unless
Yeah.
there's an event going on here or something.
So in other words, we try not to do it on overtime. We could wait unless there's an event in the parking lot or something that
Right.
we have to prepare for.
I guess I would just throw out the suggestion that when you're having snows and we can predict, a couple, 3 days in advance, maybe have somebody take a day off during the week when there might
Yeah.
not be that many things.
We're looking
going on.
at maybe doing comp time
Right.
instead of overtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's why we're not gonna do overtime. We're gonna give them comp time instead.
Okay,
In other
that
words-
makes perfect sense.
In other words, if they work, okay, then you
Right.
take a day off.
there will still be minimal.
Minimal
Right,
overtime.
overtime, yeah, you just can't get away
that's what
from
we were
it.
talking about. and
So
he
you should
didn't
have come
figure it
back
out
with
yet.
some type of figure for next year.
We'll come back with
Right, he'll
whatever
have
the
a
overtime.
figure for
There'll be
that.
something, but it shouldn't be much.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes.
For the people that are watching, and
Mhm.
even for the audience here, can you introduce the two?
Oh, I am sorry. I didn't introduce. This is Terry Wagner. He's our operations manager. And this is Bill Reekie. Bill is our foreman for the parks, our lead. I don't know what his official title is. What is his
Master
official
of all.
title? Master of all things.
Master of all.
Park foreman.
All right, and then moving to the
Oh,
HRA amount,
Okay?
it seems to be subject to some fluctuation.
Well, with people going down, we expect it to go down. There'll be less people in the
The
department.
HRA,
The health
it's
reimbursement.
only if it's used.
It's only if it's used.
Okay.
Oh, I see, it wasn't used, like, we put the worst case scenario in here, Steve, in case everybody used it. That's what the number would be, but we don't spend it if it's not used. So in other words, everybody meets their deductible and files those forms, that would come to $13,000, but that doesn't normally happen. Well, I don't know if it's ever happened, but it could. It could. Maybe they're all in a big accident together or something, you know.
And then that money is unused, it just goes back into the general fund.
Correct.
Right, it just rolls over.
Rolls it back over.
So what you could do is say spent on this line only, Steve.
Well, no, you can't. I mean, it would only be spent on that line only. But you can't,
But I
you can't lock it. It just
when I
rolls
thought
back
you
over.
said you could put it back into the general fund.
It would just
just
roll
rolls
back
over.
over the next year.
It's not gonna go back into the reserve fund. Because it goes in reserve fund, then you can use it elsewhere, right? So if it goes back, where's it gonna go? It's gonna go back to the reserve fund, right?
Yeah, it does. It would go back to the reserve fund.
But then there's a flexibility there, right?
Well, but, yeah, there is, but we have to have so much reserves in case something happens, so.
Well, I think when we all get done with this whole thing, that's the question. The big question to me is what we're gonna leave in the reserve fund.
2 months.
Well, they're gonna leave 2 months, and the, who is it, LNI?
So that's,
When we're all done.
when you came up with this budget at 18% down,
Right, it's gonna be more than that now.
I know,
Talk about something.
but is that what you're talking about for a two-month reserve fund with that 18%?
Yes, yes,
Okay, that's all I know, okay,
yeah.
okay, so we can do better then, okay.
And, Department of Economic and Community Affairs for the state says you should have a minimum of 6 months.
Is there any how much we should have?
No, there's no shit,
It's
just
no, no,
suggestion.
Okay, suggestion, thank you.
All right, moving down, contractual services. Facility building maintenance. I'm gonna let Terry and, Bill explain these.
Facility building maintenance includes the rec center, the food pantry, Whispering Hills, and also our parks garage. It includes stuff like Cintas that we use for rugs, there's a lot of multiple stuff that we use for facility building maintenance. Fox Valley Cleaning Supply, Service Master, insect treatment that comes around, does the bugs. We do building water tests, we gotta do that. The building supplies, we do have a plumber that we do use, and we try to mix it up a little bit with that. Septic clean, all of our septics have to be cleaned. We do it, the bigger halls like this twice a year. But the small ones like the food pantry or Whispering Hills is only once a year. So.
How many septic systems do we have for all of them?
We have, you cleaned them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, Whispering Hill doesn't have any, they just have sewer.
No, Whispering Hills has
Oh,
septic.
they do?
They have city water and septic
Right.
at Whispering Hills.
So altogether, we have 6 septic systems?
Yeah.
Now, do you use, they've got these chemicals that you can put in that helps break down the solids and that, do you do those?
No, we don't treat them because we have them pumped out so often, so it wouldn't be worth spending the money treating them if you're having them pumped on a yearly or, bi-yearly basis.
How often do you have them pumped?
Well, like here at Town Hall and the food pantry, or the rec center, we have done every spring and fall. The outer ones, like the bathrooms in the park, those are done every fall. And same with Whispering Hills, that one's done in the fall. And the
'Cause
food pantry is
The
done.
reason that they get more usage here, a lot of usage. We're trying to, it's a lot cheaper to pump them than to try to replace them. It's our theory.
Oh, yeah, no question about that.
Okay, any questions on that, gentlemen?
Well, are these separate contracts?
They're just, I don't know if they're contracts, they're just,
We don't really have a
I
contract.
think we
We
just call them up.
call Pat's or Rachel, to come pump them out.
Who was the
Or,
first one you said?
What's that?
You said 2 companies, which was the first?
Pat's, they do our outside privy,
Oh, okay.
Because they need to be a special licensed waste hauler for that.
Okay. All right.
But the other ones are just a regular septic to tell, whoever's available at the time.
So it's about a 30% increase from the prior year. Is there,
Well, that's the
No,
actual.
no.
You're wrong, that's the
Prior
actual so
year,
far.
yeah, prior year we spent 22,387.
all right, so does
And
that
you're-
it gets back to this. Is there a big bill coming in March or February for any of these? That would make the actual,
Not, what do you call big?
no, like 5%, 10%?
Not that I'm aware of, nothing really.
So we're not really expecting any more.
Well, you got 3 months
3
still to
months
pay
worth.
out, so that 14,000 does not reflect the next 3 months of whatever might be to happen.
So what you're saying
There's
is,
other building maintenance in there, yeah.
you're figuring that this 14,000 will come closer to the 22,000 the year before.
I would think so.
We would think so, yeah. We
It's been
lowered it.
averaging about that.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you look at
over the
the,
last
If you look at the last 2 years.
at the actual, it's at 22.3, so.
And the year
That's in the
before that
ballpark,
was
yeah.
2201.
So we expect it to come in somewhere around
I have no problem with that.
there. I don't either. That's
Okay.
good,
I did get the answer for the IMRF.
Oh, okay.
The IMRF rate increased from 3.97 to 6.21. That's why there's an increase.
Okay.
And we have one part-timer who was grandfathered in at 600 hours, because he's been here prior. So he doesn't have to meet the 1,000-hour requirement. So at part-time, he gets IMRF.
But he won't get health insurance. All right, that's the answer to that. Equipment maintenance, down to that line. Okay, we budgeted okay, see, we're pretty close, guys. We spent 4,905 already, and we spent 6,046 the last time, last year, so we're estimating a little bit less. And equipment maintenance is, someone can explain, Terry?
Vehicle maintenance is for equipment like any trucks or, we have any equipment, lawnmowers, mowers, anything like that, that, Bill can't fix or the road department can't fix, so those things we gotta get fixed.
And I'd like to explain something too to the board. We try to do all the maintenance work ourselves that we can do here, so it's cheaper. Bill over there can pretty much do anything, so, he just, fixed a couple bathrooms for us. So we don't have to call the plumber, we don't have to go outside. That's one of the reasons we brought him on. He's very valuable in terms of he can do all the stuff himself. Not all, most of it.
You can do it all.
Yes, you can.
If I tell him all, then he'll say, I can't do that.
Are you an architect?
Not quite.
He can build some for you, but it might. All right, so that's vehicle maintenance. I don't see that changing. Or I mean, equipment maintenance. Vehicle maintenance is also at $6,000. And I see that we're not buying any new vehicles, so, our vehicles are getting older, so, we're just being cautious there. We don't know what might break.
So this town hall generator,
Yes,
that's something new, right?
no.
No,
It's been here forever. Well, not forever. It's, on the outside of the building, Steve. On, what side? What is that?
East side.
Is that east? East side. That's, it's been here for a long time. It was installed a long time ago. And, if all the power would go out here, that kicks in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds. It's necessary for certainly the assessors, they can't be, and also the road district if something would happen.
So it services all three different?
It services just this building.
Just this
Just
building.
Just this building.
Just this.
Okay. And do you have somebody come out and start it up?
No, actually our mechanic, in the road department handles diesels, so why not?
So he does it,
Yeah.
to make sure everything's
No,
functioning?
he starts at about,
No, it starts weekly and runs itself.
Oh,
It's on a
okay,
system.
All right.
and we get a report too. If
Yep.
something's wrong, it doesn't start, so then they would come out and do something.
Yeah, so if it doesn't start, I immediately get to know that, and we can get it repaired.
So this is really the maintenance.
It's really maintenance and
And
diesel,
fuel.
fuel goes in it.
Yeah.
Not that we use a lot, but you use some.
So you have a tank out there with diesel? Is that, or you
How
just,
big is that tank?
The tank on the generator is like 100 gallons,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
but then you can just take it out of the
Yeah,
road?
we can get it from over by the road to top it off once in a while.
With permission?
With permission. We do record it, okay?
It is recorded on the law.
Everything's recorded. Utilities at the food pantry,
I got a question.
yes.
How big is the food pantry compared to the, I guess I'm not comparing the right thing, okay, utilities for the town hall. It's 13,000. Why would it be 2,000 difference?
No, town hall, where's town hall?
No,
Oh.
the food pantry utilities, you got down 11,000. Utility for town hall is 13,000. It seems like that's awful high for
It's all there.
the
They've got a
utility.
lot of
What's-
Fridges and
They got a lot of
freezers.
freezers and, that type of big freezers to keep the food fresh, et cetera, in there.
I've never been in the building, but they must have quite a bit of equipment in it.
They do have quite a bit of big equipment.
Thank you. Okay.
Town hall maintenance, that's pretty self-explanatory maintenance around all the town here. But last year, or 2 years ago, 18-19, we spent $19,000. So far this year, we've only spent, am I looking at the right? 16,000.
So somebody has kept track of the amount of electricity used for lights since we changed
Oh,
over?
it has gone down, has it not, Terry?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has gone down
yeah, it has gone down significantly,
everywhere.
everywhere. It really did, that was a really good thing that we did.
That's a great thing.
It's a great thing. Utilities, town hall, Bob, you just said that was, it's 13, it is what it is, it's heat, light.
Got it.
Utilities, ball field, I'll let Terry explain that one, that's, what is that, Terry?
Utility ball fields,
Yeah,
that's for the field
the
lights.
field lights, and now they're paying for the field lights.
Yeah,
correct?
they're paying.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
that's
Terry
all.
can show you, he's worked out with, I'm on the same page with you, Mike, in terms of that, I think it should at least break even.
Yeah.
Okay, Terry's worked out for the ball fields that,
I can show you that.
we can show you that he's got a schedule now for next year that we're gonna make a little bit of money based upon what they're paying. So,
Yeah, that includes soccer fields too.
Soccer, all the fields, yeah.
Football, so.
and
They
then,
increased by increasing their rates and their, fees to come in and all that, so it worked out very well.
Well, from a personal standpoint, some of you may have heard this already, but in Winter Lake, they have the grounds that they play on is the church's property, Christ the King Church.
What's that?
Now, they charge $1 to allow the baseball fields to use that property. Boys baseball, and I think there's one other thing, raises enough money from their registration fees and other things to literally pay for all the maintenance, all the grass cutting.
that's where we're going.
And that is one of the biggest things for me. The people who use things should be paying for that.
I totally agree with you, Mike, and he can show you, he's got it graduated every year to go up, so it'll do better. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And so far, we increased the rates, there's no repercussion from any of the coaches or anything else, so that's good.
Yeah, we are worried if we increase them too much too fast, then you won't have any.
Well, we're gonna be talking with them.
Yeah,
soon, right?
Terry's gonna get a committee
They're
together.
gonna get a group together so that we can have a well-based, opinion about how to go about doing this, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, I think it just makes sense. It just,
And I think most of them aren't gonna have a problem with, you know, paying them, as long as you don't increase the fees so high in 1 year, you know.
And actually, this last year, we picked up a few local teams, because our rates, they felt were real reasonable compared to trying to play somewhere else.
okay, well,
So that's why
I
we'll,
look forward to,
okay.
being involved.
Terry, we'll get that together. Utilities park garage, that's probably for the heat and stuff down there. It is what it is. 18-19, we spent 1762. So far this year, it's 1264. So we got 3 months to go. It's gonna fall in that range again, so. Whispering Hills Community Center.
Looks like you're already over on that.
Yeah, and you know what I think that was due to? That was due when we had that polar vortex and we offered those homeless people someplace to stay so they wouldn't freeze to death. And so we had the heat on constantly for
9 days.
9 days, where that normally doesn't happen.
9 days?
It was 9 full days. So that's why we're expecting it to be lower again. And, we do have those new windows and stuff in there, so we feel that'll save us some money. So we've lowered it to 2,500.
And those have the new lights too, right?
Bill?
You know, we do not have new lights in Whispering Hills. We don't have LEDs, do we?
The lights
Yeah.
inside
And
are all
then-
LED.
They are.
They're all
Oh, I didn't know.
Anything that
Yeah.
isn't-
Left on the patio
I didn't know
was
that
the
one was done.
landscape
Okay, yes.
restoration, but the patio, and then, finish the sitting walls, but
And
it got
this,
too cold last fall to glue all that stuff.
but the brickwork is beautiful, it really is.
Oh, yeah, that really is very enhancing to that property.
It really is. Okay, utilities rec center, 12,650. Gentlemen, I'm gonna look at that when I come back to you now, because I'm looking at that one going.
Seems pretty high.
Only spent 11,000 in
Utilities for.
2018-19.
There's no freezers in there, right?
You know, let me
We went to
just,
the pantry, we had 11,000.
What do you
Yeah,
want
that
to
seems
know?
really high.
it seems slightly high.
There might be a big ticket expense.
Yeah, let me check into this.
What seems slightly high?
Well,
Rec center
we only
utilities.
spent 11,069 in 2018-19, right?
Right?
And then so far this year,
It'll probably go down.
that's what I'm saying, I'm thinking maybe we can lower that a little.
Did we replace the lights
Yeah.
there?
All the
We did.
lights, parking lights.
Well, that
and
would be,
stuff too.
that'd be part of it.
That's part of
And
it.
that could be, it could all
That's
come
part of it.
down now and,
And didn't Salvation Army used to run those food warmers in the back room all the time?
And that doesn't
now
happen. Right, they don't do that now.
yeah, they
yeah,
are.
that's not there either.
Yeah,
The
so,
Catholic Charities, it's all brought in already.
right, so we'll look at that. I think we can lower that.
And put those new
Slightly.
lights in, so that's saving energy there.
We're saving a lot of energy down there, that's why it
We
should be
could
good.
probably reduce it to 10 and be okay,
Yeah.
if I look at it,
Let's
just
look,
based on what we have
yeah,
here.
we'll pencil that in, Deb, me and you look at that hard, I don't wanna be too short though either, this. Okay, those are,
It's 11:30.
oh, gentlemen, you wanted to leave at 11:30, so we can pick this up. Do you wanna have a meeting next Monday, same time? Okay,
Steve, go with you?
go with you, Steve?
Motion.
No.
Dan?
The 17th,
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta have public comments, it's on the agenda, I forgot that.
the 17th, there will be no meeting.
Yeah, there
So
won't
do
be
you
one,
want to schedule it for a different day that week?
or, why don't we see where we get next time before we decide? The 17th of,
We'll go, but next Monday we're good here.
next Monday, we're good. Okay, any public comment today? Yes, sir.
The only one I get, John McCree, Mchenry, Illinois. I noticed, I mean, we knew it was gonna happen, you cut the bus service. And I'm sure you realize as electors, we're gonna do our best to bring it back. So don't be surprised when we do. We do know the money's in reserves, because you're working on next year's budget. Just so you know, that's where we're at.
Any other public comments? Yes.
This is my first budget meeting coming here, and I want to, I'm always about positive and negatives kind of thing. So I'm actually very happy to see this is what it should be about, going through the items and seeing where we can and can't cut money and seeing things we've done that's actually improving things, budget-wise and saving the money. I'm sorry to hear about people having to lose their jobs because of it, because that adds burden to the community and stuff like that, but I understand why it has to be done. That's what budgets are, people win and lose and all of them. I do want to caution the board, especially Mr. Anderson, about sabotaging the township past this year. I noticed that there's a couple of comments made about the reserves and other things like that. There has been no decision made on what's going to happen with this township, and it is in your guys' best interest and probably your, I can't think of what I'm thinking of, what you should do is to make sure that this township is not left in a horrible shape when you guys leave office. If it does continue on, what? Yeah, part of your oath of office is to make sure that this township is functioning as it should. And if you sabotage it by taking away all the money that it needs to operate, you are not upholding your oath of office. So just please be aware that as you are going through the budget, it needs to be thought of as not, this is the last year. That's it.
Okay, is that it? Anybody else? Okay. None being heard.
I'll
Let's
make a motion to,
have a meeting.
well, I think I'll make a motion to adjourn, but I thought we already set the meeting.
No, we haven't officially said it.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we have a meeting next Monday, what's the date next Monday?
Would that be the 9th?
10th?
I'll second.
I thought next Monday we weren't.
No, next Monday we are.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks to think about it. So we can set that one.
I'll second.
And you'll second, so we're gonna,
It's the 10th, just so you know.
so, okay. So we'll just have ayes and nays. Continuation of the budget meeting, February 10th, 9 a.m., which is next Monday. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None being heard. Motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to be adjourned
Okay,
I'll second that.
seconded it.
11:36.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes.
Have a good day. The rest of it.
You sure? Do you want this? Because it used to all
Yeah.
have
That's what I was telling John.
and then, I don't know when this changed.
Okay, I'll look it over, thanks.
But no, I don't know when this is they were retiring.
Good job.
Yeah, oh, good. Oh, good. You too. You know what I agree with?
Got it? Yeah.
Thanks for the time, Dan.
See you, Dan. See you, Debbie. We used to go by so fast.
I don't really see him much in the winter, but once in a while he stops by.
So I'll see you.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. He stopped by one day driving by and I was
Bob,
just getting ready.
it's only business.
Hey, he likes
It's only business.
Oh. You got that, right?
Yeah.
I'll bring the
Exactly.